Just get a stool we can sit on.
I feel like that's a good spot.
We'll get a booster seat.
We'll boost your seats.
We're up and running, just so everyone knows. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we're just talking.
I heard him say we were live, so.
Yeah, we're live. I went from my my opening scene to this one. We are live.
Surprise!
Ian, just make sure that you can hear us and maybe throw out a word of your own there, so see if you can catch it in your earphones.
Oh yeah, I'll just clip it and it'll roll back the last 15 seconds or so.
You are a freaking wizard.
Is it time for
If anything
shots?
pops up in chat, I'll let you know. I don't know what happened, but I was demodded, so I'm not going to be able to take anything out.
But why? Hold on, let me see.
Not sure. Sean's the only
Shawn
mod.
is? That's lame.
Ew.
That sounds like a gross boy type thing.
Let's do the thing I'm told not to do, and let's close all my applications.
Let's see.
Did you hear about that? Apparently, Apple came out and said that if you close all your applications in your background, that it actually slows your phone down to close them all.
Yeah, everything sounds fine.
Hilarious.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Good job, Apple. Again, killing it.
Because apparently it goes into, they all go into sleep mode or something, and when you close them, it like messes with the OS or something. So they tell you
They're
don't.
full of shit.
Yeah, they tell you that the only reason to hard close
I'm
an
on it,
app
Ian.
is if it's
Oh, I mean, you know, I'm just.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
let you
on
know
it.
if anything
An
pops
error.
up in the
I
chat.
have you. Are you under the? Are you under X Tupac's father on Twitch? Are you signed into the right one?
No, I'm on a different one.
Okay, so I have X Tupac's father as a mod. What's your new one?
Is Ginger_MFer.
nice.
Same as
Let me see how I
your
can find you.
Discord.
So,
Oh, with a teddy bear.
That's for my little one. Yeah, it's me holding
his
a teddy bear.
daughter that gets on her iPad all the time. She'll
right,
have
just
like
made you a mod,
50
buddy.
things open, and her iPad doesn't do anything because 50 of them are open.
Yeah, I can't
Like,
process it
doesn't
all.
make any
Yeah.
sense that she can't close all her applications.
You can hear it.
Should be able to close
For a
it.
second, we did.
I would turn it all the way down.
I
turned
heard
mine
something
all
for
the way
a
down.
second,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I blame. We can blame. We'll blame me.
How dare you?
It was I.
What'd you do?
It was
I don't
me,
know.
the DM.
It was me.
Don't forget if you turn it all the way down, it
There we
doesn't
go.
count as a view anymore. That's gonna be like a problem. Can you guys still hear it at all?
No, sir.
Well, these are kind of noise canceling in a way too.
Well, I don't know if it's catching to the mic. I mean, it's picking it up.
Right. All right.
Because if you're gonna lurk, you have to either mute it via the browser or you gotta
Right.
turn
To
it
actually
down
show.
to-
Yeah. Yep. Smart.
There's
smart.
a lot of weird like Twitch things that. We
Oh
know
yeah,
about.
Twitch is so interesting. Well, okay, so Ian and I and some of our friends. I do need that bottle actually because I was gonna talk about that in the intro. So
tell me
we
about it.
I will see. I have the aromas pulled up and everything, so we cannot
shit.
taste them again.
Awesome.
So we played out a campaign on Twitch. What was it, 5-6 years ago, Ian? We actually had. I mean, we had some really fun people that watched us, and we went through it. But I got laid off from one job, and I just had to stop. But I mean, which Twitch 6 years ago was a lot different than
Yeah.
what it is now. So we're antiquated with a lot of it. But I also watch a lot on Twitch and stuff. So I mean, I have an idea of the current landscape. But yeah, when it comes into the intricacies of the tools and stuff, I was always a Stream Elements guy. So I don't think I've ever even touched Twitch's like embedded stream manager out through the site.
No, I don't either.
But I learned how to use OBS like really well. I love OBS.
That's
and
what I use.
yeah, and I'm a big Photoshop guy, so it's super fun to make overlays and stuff like that. Instead of having to buy them and stuff, you know. So, which I'm not super happy with the current overlay. It was just a quick throw together with nameplates. It's not bad. Yeah, you can draw stuff. So I need a better nameplate background.
Okay.
This one
can't
I had from years ago. It's just it's a weird little banner with like a golden purple rose in the middle,
yeah.
diamond.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Just let me know what you want, and I can do whatever.
Yeah. It was kind of bleh. But the previous one that I made was a lot better, but it doesn't. We've had a lot of players come in and out.
Yeah.
So
In just this campaign alone.
yeah, it's crazy, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
that too. So, yeah, we sound good. So yeah, welcome to Whiskey Dice. My name is Brad, and I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. And as always, I'm joined by the stars of the show. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
So every week on Whiskey Dice, me and all my friends get together after a long work week and enjoy some bourbon and stuff, and play some D&D. Tonight, this is a weird one because it's not a weird one, I just don't know if I know how to pronounce it. It's called Bernheim Original Kentucky Straight Wheat Whiskey. I'm a big wheat whiskey fan. And as I said, we're not really whiskey connoisseurs in the sense of we pick up all the notes and the fun stuff. We just enjoy bourbon. But I do like to pull up like the palate or the tasting notes of some of these because it's fun.
Supposed to taste like?
Right. Which this one's very, I'm just going to go on the nose on this one because we did palate last time. I actually do palate. So let's see. Oh, transitioning nicely from the nose, flavors of honey, green apples, and apricot land expectedly with a soft touch and light body. That's very elegant. Let's see. The suspectant and astringent note is again present. Astringent note.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What is stringent?
But quite subtle in the background against a fleeting cinnamon note. See, these taste, and he's drinking, what are you drinking there? Gatorade, buddy?
Yeah, Gatorade Zero Lemon Lime.
You want to give us the tasting notes on that?
Subtly lime with an upfront taste of lemon.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
A hint of artificial sweetener.
Oh,
Nice.
hey, man.
all the
Those
electrolytes.
0-calorie sweeteners, I'm all about it.
We haven't
That's
done
what
our
I
shot
drink,
yet.
baby.
Oh, yeah, we're
I got
about to.
this.
Oh, yeah, we've
And
went
then
straight.
I got the hard stuff for later.
DC?
Nice.
Ian's a big DC
shit.
proponent. Cheers, everyone, by the way. He's got dose DCs?
Double fisting, baby. I don't want to get out of the chair when I need one.
Understood. If anyone's ever curious, we prefer
It's pretty damn good.
American Honey as our shooter.
I love American honey.
That was a birthday gift from you, Ian. We're still drinking that bottle, baby.
Yep. Only got a couple shots left.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. So,
That's
Ain't no
smooth.
thing. Chris,
Oh,
we're
it's
one
really
pick
good.
away. Washington's on the clock. Fraser's still on the board. That's behind them.
I will reach out in breaks for any breaking news. As there's some people out there that are very interested in that. Yep. I probably shouldn't use that sound. Yeah,
Well,
maybe
I mean,
not.
your phone goes off sometimes with that sound.
I think my phone's muted over
That's
there.
So fucking, it drives me nuts when it does. That.
Da-da-da,
Well,
da-da-da.
I use ESPN Plus for
Yeah.
fight nights. And
Oh,
all the
yeah.
UFC pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So Max Holloway was on JRE today. Ian, it was pretty good.
Was he really?
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's the best.
He's the best, man.
The Blessed Express never stops, bro.
go,
Ain't no
baby.
brakes on this. Ain't
Yeah.
no brakes on that train either.
Yeah, he was talking about kind of like who he's looking to fight next. So there was a lot of names thrown out. So, but I'm excited for him.
Gotta
I'm
be
really
tough
excited
for
for
you.
him.
Here you go.
I think so.
This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Fight them all.
Fight them all. Yeah.
All at the same time.
And he does, brother. He does.
One big-
Holloway,
one big-
man, he would. That's the thing. He would. If the money's right, he would. You think the Connor fight's actually going to happen, Ian?
I don't care, dude.
I don't either, but
Stannis still went.
Yeah.
We should get Fraser right here, Chris.
They burnt it.
Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if it never happens. It wouldn't
Yeah.
shock me if something else comes
I
up.
don't.
And
I just don't
it's an
believe
injury
that
and
it
it
might.
postpones till December, and then it's another thing. Or
It'll be McGregor. Something will happen. and he won't
it
be
wouldn't
able to-
shock me,
yeah.
man.
Well,
I feel
do
bad for
that.
Chandler. He's
I
literally
do.
wasted 2 years of his prime chasing
Yeah.
this stupid fucking
And
Chandler
he
fight.
was at his peak. He was at
And
his
he was
fucking
good.
peak.
He was selling. He was selling fights. He was
hot.
He was hot and like winning fights, losing fights, but losing excitingly. Like
Yeah.
he's getting a bunch
Well,
of
I
fans,
mean-
and now he's sat for 2 years waiting for fucking Conor McGregor to decide.
I mean,
to get
fuck, he
up off
lost
the couch.
to Gaethje. You know what I mean? That's a fucking
Yeah.
tough fight, anyways.
That's a tough
Doesn't
fight.
That's a tough fight.
Is Dustin fighting Makachev coming up?
Ooh.
That's the fight. That's
Is
what
that
they said.
is that it? Yeah.
Makachev
I think it
is
was set for.
allegedly
Okay.
leaving the division. But
Yeah. That's in.
be a good
I
fight.
think that Max was saying he wants to fight the winner of that fight.
I think
Is what
that
it is. They want to do like a
Maybe
double
303?
belt, BMF
I
belt.
was gonna say,
type
he
thing.
ain't even in the same fucking weight class.
Yeah, they're talking about doing
That's
some
good.
kind of a catch thing. Which
No,
yeah.
Max. That's
302,
a bad idea.
yeah.
They're much
yeah,
bigger than
Dustin
you
versus
are.
Islam is main eventing 302,
302?
June 1st.
Gotcha. Yeah, we have a. That's not the Jersey card though. We have a, or is it the Jersey card?
Fucking, they're gonna be here in
They're going
Louisville
to St.
in
Louis.
June.
Are they? Are they really?
I think so. I saw a commercial.
I wanna
It
go.
It said that it's going to be in Louisville. I don't remember the
Gotcha.
date on it.
We'll have to look.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, to not leave the. Oh, but, Alex, were you introduced to Andrea's brother and sister by the way?
Well, on Discord.
We have some new players tonight.
I
Chris
assume
and
that's who
Tatiana.
they
Chris and
were.
Tatiana.
And
Yeah.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
Which you can see him now, Ian, via stream, I guess. Ian, I will say before I start rambling, I'm not. If we do get to a specific battle tonight, I don't have the battle map overlay how I kind of want it. It's a very small box, so we'll do our best to describe
That's
it
fine.
to you.
I'm gonna go to the biggest dude and just melee him. So
not
a whole lot.
Understood.
Not a whole lot to it.
Understood. Yeah, so you'll just follow. Yeah, you'll just follow the new barbarian around probably, and the fighter, and figure it out.
Yeah, I got a feeling we'll spend a lot of close proximity.
Yeah. So it'll be fine.
Don't get too close.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. But yeah, so I mean, so we do not have Shawn, who plays Alex Dawnkeeper, here tonight, but he's going to be here in spirit. His PC portraits on stream. So if there's any RP needed from him, I will do so the best that I can as Dainty Fingers himself. Alex Dawnkeeper, I've referred to him as Dainty Fingers via one of my NPCs because he is a non-calloused.
He can't
Rich
carry
boy.
a crate
He
either.
doesn't
Can't carry a
work.
crate. He doesn't
And
work
then-
very much.
And then what was the other name? He has another name too. Dainty Fingers and we were saying that he needs to get strong legs.
Oh, he needs strong
So that
legs.
strong legs and dainty fingers.
Strong legs and dainty fingers. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, so Andrea, Andrea's brother and sister are joining us for the campaign, which is super fun. You know, you keep it around the family, and then you get players that are here and stuff. So, and that's not a shot at anyone else that's been here. We love all of our friends. Understand life gets in the way. So,
To
but yeah.
clarify, brother and sister-in-law. We're
Brother,
sister-in-law,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I fucked
like
that
said that,
royally
Like,
up.
if you see
You
us
said that a couple
interacting-
times.
Yeah,
Not
brother
like, no
and
incest.
sister-in-law. This is not an incestuous relationship.
This is my wife. That is my sister.
I'm so sorry.
I just figured I'd throw that one out there.
Oh, sorry.
Well, listen, you said it a couple times, brother
Yeah,
and
no, I
sister,
keep-
and I
yeah.
did correct you, but I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, sister-in-law.
Yeah, 'cause,
Yeah.
like if I lean over and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, oh, that's weird.
Like I just kind of assumed.
Andrea's
because I'd never
brother
heard you
and
talk about
sister-in-law are
sisters.
here, who are married, who are joining us for the campaign. My apologies. Yeah, that's fucked up of me. I apologize.
No, it's
but anyway,
okay. It's okay.
and then we have the usual Ian playing Sir Cedric, Andrea playing Jophiel, and then Alex playing Everett. Each of my usual players will probably be reintroducing themselves tonight, as we got some newbies here who will also be introducing themselves in a little bit. But yeah, anything else fun from the week before we jump into some D&D? And did we like the bourbon? I don't even know if I've tried it yet.
I didn't try it because I was doing
I've
the
tried
shot.
it several times.
Is it good?
It's not what I'm used to,
It is a weeded bourbon, so which is
which
you
is
know.
probably what it is. It's very clean.
feel the
It's
shot,
almost like a
though.
gin.
You do? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't drink very
Yeah.
often,
You
so
I
know
know what you
what I
mean. It is very much a weeded bourbon. I love weeded bourbons. I don't know what it is.
It's not bad. It's just not. You know what I mean? When I drink bourbon, I'm expecting one thing.
It's got a
And it's
very
not.
interesting kick on the back end.
It's not strong like in
90
your
proof.
face, and then I can kind of see what they're talking about.
90
Not the
proof?
green
90 proof.
apple, but like the
Apricot?
lighter flavors.
I don't taste any cinnamon. I think
The
they're
idea
lying
is
about
to,
cinnamon.
which, and you're also drinking over ice also, but the idea is to like slightly open your mouth and inhale with your mouth and your nose.
So you can suck
And
it
then
right
if
out of
it's-
your windpipe.
Yeah, and if you hit it at first and it's super
Aspiration.
ethanol-y, you're supposed to back up and then you can kind of get the aroma. That's the whole point of a Glencairn, right? But no,
yeah,
it's not
it
bad.
funnels
It's
it.
actually very good. I like it, but
Yeah, it's pretty good.
we've got like
Not my
60
go-to.
bottles over there because every week we buy a new bottle of bourbon
Oh,
and we drink it while we play.
okay.
There's only this is the thing, and this may sound like an alcoholic, but I'm not. I swear. I think there's only been 2 or 3 that I've disliked genuinely. But
Well, if you like bourbon, you like
Yeah.
bourbon. Like,
have
it's-
you
It's really hard to mess it up.
have
Yeah.
you had the Huber's Blackberry?
I've had the Huber's Blackberry. We actually have 2 Huber's bottles at the bar right now over there. so-
Brandy.
That's their whiskey bourbon.
That's whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the
I forgot they
Blackberry.
made that one.
They do really good blends. Starlight does, which is awesome. And
He has,
those
like,
dudes
this much
are
left in
great.
his
It's so good. Oh, it's so good. I like all their stuff, to be honest.
I'm from Kentucky, so I'm a bourbon girl too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know.
All right, Ian. You got excited. Did it happen?
Confirmed, brother. We got the bag. Zach Fraser.
Fantastic. hear it.
Yes, sir.
Very fun.
Yes, sir. The stealeriest player there was broke his leg and then crawled off the field to not waste a timeout in crunch
Fuck
time.
yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Oh my god.
Dude's a fucking
Hardcore.
stud.
Excuse me.
Hell yeah.
That's
the
kind of
Steeler
insane.
way. You break something, you get back up, brother.
Steeler mentality. He said, we
brother.
need the fucking timeout in the 2 minute. I'll crawl off this fucking field with a broken leg.
Gonna get out there, boy. Shit.
The steel curtain is real.
Big Ben played with broken fingers and
Oh,
dislocated
yeah.
shoulder and
Just that there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
dent, you just rub it up a little bit, and it's still
I feel
there.
so bad for like O linemen and stuff. Like,
Troy Paul. There's a famous clip of Troy. He hit somebody, dislocated his shoulder. He goes back to the bench and sits down. Ryan Clark goes over there, grabs his arm, looks around the bench, makes sure no medical staff are paying attention, and pops it back into place.
Troy was like, grab my arm.
Yeah, Troy hands his arm out like, "Hey," and then like,
Fix this.
even Troy kind of looks, and Ryan spins around like, "Nope,
Said,
no one sees
pull
it."
oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, it looks better already. Get back in there.
He did.
So lucky you didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted O tackle. I wanted center round 1 and 2. Perfect.
You got what you wanted?
Give us a fast receiver, and I think we're solid. Everything else is just
I'm
bonus.
hoping for Corley in the 3rd out of Western Kentucky. Big yak guy. I'm hoping we land him. Be a perfect draft.
Hey, Mr. Alex, you can sit that down to Andrea in the front of the table, just in case you guys want some more. I got 2 more beers ahead of me, so just in case you want some more drinking.
God, sorry.
How dare you? So
Scared the shit out of me.
Payback's the bitch, honey.
I will say something. These are very affordable boom arms.
Oh, I know.
But they are noisy. They come from, I've bought every bit of audio equipment I have from Sweetwater because we live in Indiana.
Yeah.
Sweetwater is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I have a personalized sales guy that remembers.
That's amazing.
This year, I haven't done audio stuff in 6 years. It's been 6 or so years, Ian, since we bought all the equipment.
Yeah,
I texted my guy. I emailed him. And this was this year. And I was like, hey, you may not remember me, but I need X, Y, and Z. And he was like, oh, yeah, how's the D&D podcast going? And I was like, holy crap. So these dudes are awesome. Sweetwater's great, like, for anything. And because we live in Indiana, we get it shipped to us in like a day.
Yeah.
It's like Amazon, so it's awesome. But yeah, they're cheap. They're like 30, 40 bucks, but they are noisy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're sturdy.
This is
They
what
are
we
sturdy.
had too.
These ones?
Like not these specific ones, but,
similar?
they're
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much the same.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
they work though.
Yeah, they do.
So they
They
do work. One thing before we start here. Did you say to pronounce your name was it Zara?
0.
Zira.
Yep.
Zira. And then Rylal.
Yep.
Yes.
And then, for the sake of this session, can everyone give me their passive perception, starting with you, Everett?
Why'd you guys start there?
Because you're
Working-
you're my clock.
Working right
I
there.
go in a clockwise.
Perception?
Yes, passive perception, please.
Perception or investigation?
Passive perception, 12. What about you, honey?
17.
Ah, fuck.
And Ian?
12.
And then Tatiana?
16.
Then Rylal.
12.
And then Shawn's not
Everybody's 12.
here, so he's going to get a 10 because he's not here. And with his dainty fingers,
feel like
I think
his is...
his is decent. It's like a
Okay.
14 or a 12.
Was his
Yeah.
the good one?
I'm
Yeah.
the good
Is
one.
he the good one or?
I'm the best one.
His is like a 12 then.
Yeah.
I think it's
My
it's
wisdom's
he's
max.
a-
My
Mine's just
perception's
right below, so,
proficiency.
you know.
For the sake of notes, and there may be a slight day discrepancy, but I lost one of my note pieces.
Aw.
But today is the 30th day of Vrostmane with a V. For the purpose of notes,
fuck.
there is a calendar. So that means before we start tonight that there is, and this will make more sense to Sir Cedric. And by the way, as we go into game, I'll refer to you as your player, just to make it a little bit easier.
Good to know.
So Sir Cedric and Jophiel and Everett, there's 15 days until the 9th of Rel Navarre's dawn. So
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
yeah, we'll see how tonight goes.
The confusing thing is, this is Alex, and then there's a character called Alex. Don't
Fantastic.
get
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
noticed that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, see, Shawn is such a big fan of Alex He wishes that he
not
could be
awesome.
as cool as him.
And he already knew about him before he created the character like years ago.
Yeah.
All right, run me by the names again.
Oh yeah. So we have. So for the purpose of your notes, we have Everett Whitlock,
Okay.
which is sitting right across from you here on your left, and then we have Jophiel. No last name
Nope. None.
for reasons.
Like Prince.
And then Cedric
Sir Cedric Chamberlain.
Chamberlain. Ian likes Chamberlain, right, Ian? Not Chamberlain.
Yeah,
Chamberlain.
Yeah, Chamberlain. I refer to him as Sir Cedric all the time. He probably doesn't even like it. And then for you guys, we have Zira. Zira? Mm-hmm. Zira. You might have to give me an hour.
They're fine.
Zira and Rylal. And their introductions are coming swiftly. So
And then Shawn's is Alex Dawnkeeper.
yeah, Alex D.
Alex Dawnkeeper.
Yeah, Dawnkeeper.
I'm gonna call him Alex.
You
D.
know, we could just call you by your
That's
real name.
beautiful, Ian. Are you
I
going to take
mean-
notes that way?
You could. I won't answer. I don't recognize it. I think you're talking to somebody else.
What?
I think you're talking to somebody else.
Who's Bark?
Work.
Who's Bark?
That is a
I mean,
low
my
blow.
name is Mark, but like,
You're gonna
I would
confuse them.
hear
assume.
it
I would
so
assume that we
rarely
were
that
talking
I
about
don't
your
know.
dad. Honestly, if you said Mark.
Is your
Yeah.
dad's name Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
that's funny. My dad's also named Mark.
Oh.
See,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're gonna act like this is a revelation, but it's not. It's not.
It is to me.
We've done this. We've
Okay.
done this before.
So, are we ready to play some D&D?
Let's go.
All right, cool.
No, that was.
Did you
It
have
was
a
in my own head.
You asked me something before we started. Is there anything that we need to address now?
I don't know what to ask you.
You asked me about items for a fighter.
Oh no, the ones for to populate the world or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have. You know what?
I literally
As you
forget
being-
about it and then remember, work
Bro.
on it, and forget about it.
One more tangent before we begin. I asked everyone, and by the way, you guys after tonight, I'll ask the same thing.
Okay.
I want a list of around, I don't know, 6 to 10 items within like 5e that you would like spread across the world as potential loot drops.
Ooh,
That'll
okay.
be spread across in different random locations. So you can come up with that list on your own time whenever you have a second. That is hilarious, Ian. I love it.
I don't.
That's nice.
I got you guys.
That is Cedric.
So smart.
But I asked, so everyone did what I asked for and gave me specific items. Shawn sent me a list of, well, I would like items that sort of do this sometimes, and then this, and then that. And I was like, and I didn't shit on him at the time, but I was like, okay, I will write your list for you and then put it in the world. Thank you for putting so much work onto this,
Like,
Shawn.
like a whole bunch of homebrew items, or just like
Yeah,
I would like to up my
He did.
constitution.
He just didn't give me any specific items,
Oh,
and that's what I was wanting.
Now,
gave
do
you
you want
concepts.
something?
Yeah.
Do you want something specific to 5e, or can we take?
It
Some
can
of
be
the
homebrew
can we-
stuff.
Okay, so we can take some of the stuff maybe as like a template and like.
Sure.
modify it
I mean, if it's
points.
a
Yeah,
homebrew,
if you
won't
homebrew it,
probably
of
send
course
them the
I'll
details.
okay it or not. There's a lot of. I'm a very much a yes man. You'll find out
Mm-hmm.
if it's something game breaking, like we can tone it back easily. So that's the whole point.
And then you wanted nothing higher than rare or very rare or something. Nothing. Not
No,
like,
it could be any
it
item.
is rare
okay.
and legendary. Is what he told me.
Yeah, it was from rare to legendary because
Oh.
you guys have to explore the world to find these items.
I don't think
Yeah.
I sent you any legendary. That's okay.
You
though.
didn't,
I don't
but
need to.
I have
I
tables
have
for
a,
that.
Technically, I have a
Technically, you have a legendary
item.
item. Technically, Ian does too. Technically, all of you
think
do,
everybody-
except for these two.
Bless you.
So, as we begin, we'll start with a bit of a recap. So, last session, by the way, welcome to the A Realm Reborn campaign. This is Chapter 7, Tainted Celebrations. So, last session, the party, after the events of Crimsonwood Hollow, met Kaelin of the Tigran Canopies, which is your guys' captor, and we'll get to you. And he came and with, I wouldn't say a heavy heart, but with determination, there was a conversation that took place where Kaelin wanted to of course, like Nalia, break the chains that were bonded at the falls of Ero decades ago. And what he wanted to do, because he didn't know if he could do it alone, or if he would even want to try and do it alone, was to end his mother's reign via killing her. In essentially cutting off the head of the snake, which is interesting because there is a snake people on this island. It would essentially break 2 out of the 3 packs that were made. Well, it's a single pack, but 2 out of the 3 individuals that made said pack. Do you need something, Mr. Everett?
No, go ahead.
You need a pen?
Finish your thing.
Do you not have a pencil?
No, I got one. I was looking for a post-it note or something. Finish your
Post-it
finish your recap. I'll get it in a minute.
In talking to Kalen, everyone was kind of on board with that to do what you guys were brought here against your will, but you've changed your opinions of these people, and in a way, maybe not became friends, but found purpose in freeing the Tigran and the Leonar from the oppression of the Maw via Sorosa. And most of you, all of you but one, were like, okay, if we kill Sulthara, we can move forward. But Jophiel, you were a little hesitant. Just something of note. But you did, with some of the craziest averaged rolls of stealth via people in not heavy armor. Well, I guess chainmail is heavy. So the 2 individuals in the party that were rolling disadvantage on stealth checks still managed to roll hot as hell and to go into the Tigran canopies and not even just go, but to climb up into a tree.
Well, athletics is our proficiency, you know?
Oh, I understand. It was pretty awesome.
I rolled an 8, and then I think Andrew rolled a 4.
Yeah, we did have 1 or 2 bad
in
rolls.
different rounds. Yeah, we had.
But on those rounds, everyone else covered it crazily. What it was a group roll averaged. And then you also had Kalen helping as well, and he rolled a 27.
Oh yeah,
a 22.
He was
So
Kalen's a guy.
Kalen is. In Legend Keeper, actually,
he's a sweet boy.
He is a sweet boy. He is a blue-skinned Tigran, so he's like a tabaxi, if you're relative to that, or a panther folk. He's got blue fur, bright green eyes, and he's got a lot. He's always bare-chested, just wearing pants, and he's really into kind of tribal baubles and trinkets and things that he hangs from his ears and all about his body. He's a very young Tigran, by the way.
Okay.
But you made it to Sulthara's canopy, and you did catch them, her unaware, and her beast that she rides into battle, Mole. And essentially, to push us forward here, Sir Cedric, you split Sulthara in half. Half of her fell out the window, and half of her still resides inside of the canopy. And then as a collective, you slayed Mole. And Mole was kind of like this, very much, the easy way to describe it is kind of half T-Rex, half Triceratops creature.
Like a dinosaur chimera.
Yeah, it was quite, but much smaller too. But you vanquished it. And as we pick up tonight's session, this is right after that has happened.
Okay.
And so you two are within your confines, and we'll get to you momentarily. So as we begin the aftermath, you're standing in Sulthara's canopy, and Kalen kind of drops his weapons, and he walks over to his mother, and he kind of goes down to a knee. He looks as though he's about to start grieving in his own way, but he flexes and he takes a breath. He turns to you first, Jophiel. There are others like you here, and they need to be released. And it's no sooner that he says that than you hear something from above and someone drops, and you see a very tired and bewildered Nalia, breathing heavy with tired eyes. And Kalen smiles. And Nalia walks up to him, and they embrace for a second, but then he turns her to you. Go with Jophiel and release the prisoners. Okay. And Nalia walks over to you. she does look tired and bewildered. You got to remember, she ran Brunika all the way back to the other pride and is just now arriving here.
Will he be okay by himself?
Brunika?
No.
Kaylin.
Kaylin.
So Nalia just getting here is like, and she then looks around at what's happened.
Yeah, I would like guidance her like
Yeah,
there's
she
shit still
looks-
going on.
She looks around and sees the carnage. He'll be fine. And she does look very surprised. I hope. But we have things to do. Right, Kaylin? And Kaylin shakes his head. So she does kind of take you by the arm and pulls you toward the outside balcony.
I
And
go
you
over.
two begin to descend. As you do, your passive perception is 17.
Yeah.
As you begin to come down, you see that there were maybe a dozen or 2 dozen Tigran around the canopy. And each of them with weapon close at hand. Most of them right now are showing signs of shock, some relief, happiness even. But you do see a few troubling things. Most of the individuals you see are young Tigran like Kaylin. There are those that seem to have been a bit older that lay dead before their items, their weapons. It looks like there was some resistance that may have occurred, but it looks those akin to Kaylin, they did not let it happen.
You gotta break a few eggs.
As you come down with Nalia, a lot of them kind of slap their chest and bow to you as you walk by, giving you kind of respect for what's occurred here. But there are those watching what's taking place.
Oh, this feels very ill. Oh God.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it?
Nope, not at all. I
Nothing
didn't deserve
changes if
this.
nothing changes.
What'd you say, Ian?
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay.
At the top of the canopy, Kalen stands and he looks at you first, Everett. Cut a piece of the horn from Mole. And then he looks at you, Cedric. Could you finish removing what's left of my mother's head from her body? I don't think I can do it.
I can.
And he kind of stands back watching you two.
What do you...
We have to show the people that it's done.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Does Mole have like a smaller, like, you said it's like a triceratops, right?
Yeah, several, so
Is
2
one
main
smaller
horns.
than the other?
And then they grow smaller as they get down toward this, like mutton chops almost, before the maw. So you could get one of the smaller ones off.
Yeah.
Like taking the whole head would be an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just for funsies, give me an give me a medicine check for funsies. Sir Cedric, give me a medicine check too, just for funsies, because I want to see how fun the cut is here.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
I mean, a half body isn't enough. We gotta
Let's
give him
go.
the head.
Fucking
Cedric,
8 plus 0 is 8.
Hey, 10.
10.
Yeah. Killing it.
You just came off of a fight. You did your best. It's not great work. You're not doctors, but that's okay. With you holding part of the tusk or horn, and Cedric, you holding the head, he gestures to the balcony. And he actually kind of gives you both just a bow via his head. You should be the ones to walk out first.
Right. Are you ready for this, Cedric?
I am.
Here we go.
You walk about 15 feet to the balcony that opens up before the canopies. And the Tigran canopies are these huts that are built into the jungle trees via rope ladder and rope bridge. It is currently misting, not quite raining, but misting. Moonlight is shining through the canopy. It is quite a serene and beautiful evening. But as you all walk out, the eyes, and you can now see them, dozens of Tigran people looking up toward the canopy, and their eyes kind of go wide and you guys see it. Disbelief, shock. Maybe some show a little bit of anger, but then it falls away. Happiness, joy. You see a full spectrum of emotions. And then Kaylin walks out, and then their emotions grow happier, the ones that seem still yet a little dour, perhaps. And he looks to the people. The second chain that our Pride Masters made has been broken. And we have no one else to thank than these strangers that we took as captives that have come. Our oppression is near its end. And everyone kind of shaking their head. And then there's the kind of this cacophonous Aru, Aru, Aru across the Tigran canopies in unison. We will take our people that are now free into the maw and end Soros's tyranny for good. And when this is done, our people will be free to roam the lands of this realm, as is our right. Again, a cacophonous Aru, Aru, Aru. But then he smiles and he gestures to you two. But tonight we celebrate in the honor of these peoples for doing what we were too weak to do. And just silence. Jophiel and Nalia, you hear this as you're being taken to a very familiar stone doorway.
I've been here
That
before.
circular stone door, so similar to that of which one that you were locked in for months. I've spoken to both of these individuals. They're... Okay, one of them's really interesting, but one of them's even more interesting. You know how we're kind of outsiders? My people. I've never seen one of these before.
Are you speaking of bird people?
No, I think you'll just have to see it to understand. Anyway, and she goes up to the stone door and puts a hand on it, and it begins. You know what? It kind of reminds me of the like the Vault Tech doors. It kind of, like the stone medallion doors, and it begins to kind of roll to one side. So as it rolls open, I need for Rylal and Zira to introduce your characters. What Jophiel sees. Whoever would like to go first, general description, whatever you feel comfortable with. Go right ahead.
I will be playing Zira Moonveil. I am an Eladrin. I am of the winter season currently. So she would see kind of a petite, icy blue skinned Eladrin with some like lavender color hair and very light blue eyes. And I would be wearing leather armor, and I would have a rapier hanging at my side.
Gotcha. So you do realize that they have been shown the same treatment. They have their items. But as you look at her, you then skew and look upwards. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to introduce your character.
Well, my character's name is Rylal. I am a drow barbarian. On first look, you would not understand that I was a drow. I have ebony dark skin. I have white hair that is pulled back and braided in certain areas coming down my chest. I am wearing basic leather gear, traveling gear. It's not armor. Mm-hmm. Very open. My character is 6 foot tall and 425 pounds.
Big boy.
I am a monster. Monster of a character.
It's all muscle, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You look and you see ripped muscle that the clothing that is put on me is screaming
Stress.
to be released.
It's muscles on muscles.
I have a question. Does your ears poke out of your hair, or is it hidden?
That is actually a good question.
They would be hidden.
Okay, so
shit.
what you Jophiel, what you would see then is a Lobrakian.
Oh yeah.
You would see a Lobrakian, tried and true. Yeah, the ears are the big mark there. So
Yeah. The character, my character would be it look Librachian, and everything that would mark me as a drow, you would not notice unless you've seen one.
right, and none of you have, by the way.
We look in the look in my eyes. They're cold. They're piercing, and there's red.
Yeah.
The red flashes at different angles as you look at me, but you mostly see white eyes. You will have noticed as you look at me that on my left hand I am missing a finger. Looks fresh wound, has been cauterized, and you'll see a battle axe hanging from my hip that's got a blood stain on it. When you see me turn around, there'll be a massive scar running from the top right shoulder heading down towards my left hip. You'll notice with that scar, it doesn't quite look right as scars go for people because there's a silver hue embedded into the deepest parts of it. And it looks like a fairly fresh wound, but it's healed up some. But there's a silver hue around that.
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll see me in a stance where my hand is sitting on top of my battle axe, and I am I am
Sure you're not a
puffed out,
paladin?
intimidating looking.
As big as possible. Always.
So would you like to describe your character to them, just so they have an idea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So my character, human in appearance, about 5'10" or so a little shorter,
A little bit.
thinner physique. Appears human, brown hair, comes down to about here, but throughout her body, she does have lots of scars, but they don't, scars / tattoos, it's hard to tell. It doesn't look natural in a way. But first glance looks like scarring all across her body, particularly her left eye. There's a scar that goes through it, and then her left eye pupil almost looks split, but it also doesn't have that blind look about it. It's still like fully colored and everything. She is wearing robes and some chainmail on top of it. The chainmail itself actually has 4 different symbols embedded in it. For those, it actually, I think both of you have this knowledge. It's actually the 4 sovereign pillars, which 3 of them are typically agreed upon, like the Essos, Elmadan, and Eliel, but then the 4th one, Void Wrath, appears to be on there as well. So that's kind of interesting. You don't really see that ever on any sort of cleric or paladin of that of the triumvirate. She's carrying a staff. There is a slight trinket on it. Let me see. I think that's about it. Like I said, appears human. Just looking at you. And then next to her is Nalia, which is a
Yeah.
showing a picture of her.
So Nalia,
Okay.
you've met. So she is half Leonar, half human.
Okay.
Her hair the color of a lion's mane, with those bright kind of orange-yellow eyes. She wears these fluffed pauldrons whenever she's in kind of her fineries, but if not, it's just kind of form-fitting leathers of some kind.
Okay.
Brown boots, and she specializes in using a sandstone collapsible spear. She has been nothing but kind to you guys, talking to you way more than Kaylin has. But as the door opens, everyone sees each other. Jophiel, this is Rylal and Zira. They were the proposed sacrifices of the Tigran people. And we figured, no matter what happens, that maybe you could get them out of here.
Hi
Eladrin, I believe, an elf.
Yes.
And a Lobrakian. I've not seen one
I would
such a long
start chuckling
time.
immediately. Just start.
I have not seen one, I think, in a long time, but your figure is so familiar. It's
My character
nice
would just
to meet you.
would just nod,
He
not
just
say a
nods.
word.
I'm just chuckling like quietly to myself after you say Librachian. So
And your names. I am Jophiel.
I am Zira.
Sierra.
Rilo.
It's nice to meet you both,
Nice to meet you
Ryle
as well.
and Ryle.
Whenever did you? Nalia said, Jophiel, you want to give me a history check, Zira? Let's get you rolling here a little bit. I tell you what, I will give a history check with disadvantage for Rywall as well.
That is a 22.
22. You would know that the name Jophiel isn't a common name, but it is one of the 13 keys of the realm of Alora. What'd you get, my friend?
4.
A 4? Jophiel's a weird name. Continue.
Jophiel, that's an interesting name. It has quite a lot of history.
Yes. Yes.
It's associated with the 13 keys, I believe.
Yes.
I'm a bit of a knowledge fanatic.
That's wonderful. If it pleases you, I've just learned this recently myself that I am one of those 13 keys.
Wow. Well, it is very nice to meet you. I will probably have lots of questions later.
I may or may not have answers. I believe I've forgotten much.
Oh,
But
interesting. And I pull out a notebook and I'll start writing.
I do have. Oh, you're writing.
It's
My brother. I just talked to him recently in a unconscious dream of sorts, and he told me that he's holding my memories. So I feel a strong urge to go find him and get them back.
I can understand why.
Yes.
It's good to know things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rywall, being able to read creatures quickly based on the fact that survival is key where you come from, this individual before you stands like a warrior but talks like a child, is kind of how you take it. No offense.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
During this conversation, Rylo's going to be staring at you, literally looking you up and down, pretty much, and getting a read on your character. No words, cold, piercing eyes the entire time.
She doesn't appear intimidated at all by it.
It takes a long time for him to start talking to you, and as long as he doesn't get mad, he's actually quite nice.
Okay.
When she says that, you'll see a flex across the body as one of those, like, being said he's nice makes him uncomfortable.
Do I realize that's like what his like uncomfortable by that just base, or do I need a roll for insider on that?
No, he looks uncomfortable.
Okay.
Not uncomfortable. He just looks out of place. Yeah, he just looks out of place. But yeah, from her words, yeah.
You'll get used to the silence.
I don't think he likes being talked about in front of, but I understand that kind of.
Sir Cedric, Everett, and Kaelin, you've dropped down from the canopies. Climb down. Kaelin dropped down. And you're walking in the direction of Nalia, and you also see two new individuals. So Cedric and Everett, if you would like to tell them what your character looks like as you're walking up, blood-soaked from the fight near recent.
Hey, you go ahead, Ian. I kind of forgot.
I am a pale-skinned male, stands 6'5", short, I guess blondish brown hair. I mean,
Wearing
relatively big guy.
Yeah.
Currently dons chainmail. I'm a glory paladin of one of the three major gods, Essos.
Mm-hmm.
I wield a really big great sword. That's kind of like that's kind of it.
Are you wearing fingerless gloves or full gloves or even gloves?
What an interesting question.
I wouldn't wear fingerless. I would probably wear full gloves.
Okay, because that
Or-
one
or
trait. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, or yeah. If my chainmail comes with gloves, yeah, I'll wear like the gauntlets of it.
I will say that you can have some gloves, sure.
I don't think that I would be shy about my curse. However, I am cursed currently. The tips of my left hand, or all my fingers and my thumb, are black currently with, I'm just going to call it the Dark Wanderer's curse.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do we see
hankering
them
of
yet?
what it is.
Yeah, you're seeing them walk up.
All right.
With Caleb.
I would be like tilting my head, like studying them.
So you see one that a much smaller creature, humanoid, that's kind of like really looking at you, but then you see this kind of very large, like not the tallest individual ever, but as described, this very he's a shit brick house. And then so Everett, what do they see in you, buddy?
Well, it's 6 foot. We're about the same size.
He's a
well-
lot wider than you.
Yeah. I say about the same size. We're about the same height. Not near as muscular, but fit nonetheless. Very, very fine clothes, but have been well traveled in. Medium armor. What else? He's got 2 swords on his hip and a great sword on his back. There is a golden pelt around his shoulders. Brown hair. Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
Typical fighter.
Yeah. I went basic as shit this time.
That's
It's
fair.
easy peasy.
Cedric, as you walk up and you see these 2 individuals, of the larger kind of dark-skinned one, you hear a voice in the back of your mind. This one looks like a true warrior, master. Perhaps you should take notes. He wields an axe.
I'm going to take the high road.
Typical paladin.
Yeah, maybe.
As the paladin should.
But you're now all together. Kalen walks about each of you that just participated in the battle and either shakes your hand or gives you a hug. Thank you for everything.
You're quite welcome.
There's tears welling in his eyes just based on probably everything that's happened tonight. Happiness, Nalia as well. They both just look extremely happy.
Would we know
Yes.
what just happened?
Everything that, yeah. So they would have told you that your potential, not saviors, but those that can probably help you get off the Isle of Sorborg.
Okay.
Sacrifices like you turned into whatever you want to call these individuals. Yeah, that there was something that was going to happen tonight, and if it worked out, that the Tigran people would be quote unquote free.
Okay.
So Kalen, which you've seen Kalen a lot, and Nalia, they look just extremely emotional. It seems that whatever was supposed to happen, happened. And yeah. And I would say that Nalia, not Kalen. Kalen just kind of sits down after walking around a bit. Nalia would come to you both. It's done. At least up to this point. I don't know. This man here, Everett, he carries what's left of my father. And he kind of speaks for both of our peoples now, myself and Kalen. I don't know what their plans are after the night, but Everett and the rest of you, Jophiel, Cedric, regardless of whatever you plan on doing, I just ask if you could take them with you when you leave. Not that we want you to leave, but we understand that you don't want to stay here forever. They're good people.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure. I think. You friendly? One of you looks friendly.
I would say that I'm quite friendly. I just like to, pursue all types of knowledge. So leaving here would be quite nice because exploring always gives more knowledge.
You're learned. Okay.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Rael, you notice another man, human, come walking up the path that Kalen came. His eyes kind of go to you and look you up and down. And he gets almost uncomfortably close, and he looks to be like trying to look at your hands for some reason. Excuse me. I've recently found. Well, how do you get calluses like those on your hands? This tall, kind of scrawny, scruffy bearded human man. This question is actually open for any of you. I really don't want to ever return to Sheffenboro and the rest of them and be called Dainty Fingers anymore. I just...
Well, have you ever looked at your sister's hands?
Yeah, but I never asked her how she got calluses.
It's the hammer. The everyday.
He pulls out a hammer and he's like,
Yep.
You want me to hit it? My hand?
No. Well.
Oh, that's...
No.
Maybe you should wield your weapons or tools more often if you would like calluses.
He like pulls out this weapon that you've never seen anything of the like.
Metal stick.
It looks like, yeah, a metal stick. And maybe akin to a hand crossbow, but finer.
I would start getting closer.
As you get closer and look at it, I mean, well, you've never seen one of these because it's kind of the first of its kind. And as you're looking, it's like, oh, this is it's a gun.
A gun?
Yeah, I made it. It's really cool. And he kind of looks around. I probably shouldn't shoot it here. It goes bang. It's like a hand crossbow, but quicker. It's the first of its kind.
Interesting.
Much louder.
Much louder. When it comes to stealth missions,
Much louder.
So we won't be working together much then.
and he gets a little sad
Not that that's a bad thing.
He's
I
the
just-
other learned one.
because of my fingers.
You'll
isn't
probably
it?
have the most in common with him, actually.
He's good with the forge.
He's a
I am actually a master forgesmith.
designer. A designer.
I made his weapons.
Oh,
he did.
very nice. They do look.
They actually do look
Yeah,
very
Very nice.
Yeah, they actually do look very nice.
Pretty fire.
But if any of you have any idea of how to get calluses quickly, just let me know.
He would see me take my hand and slam it against the rock to the door and rub my hand against it a bunch. And I'll turn and hold my hand towards him, and he will see blood coming down my hand. And I'll just retighten back up and put it next to my waist.
That probably does promote really good scar tissue. That could be like calluses.
I wouldn't recommend that method in
Oh.
particular. This one is a bit more. Well, let's just say he's not as finessed as some of us others.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I don't think I saw him flinch. That didn't hurt, did it?
No.
To be truthful, I'd probably like lean towards you and whisper. To be truthful, it probably did hurt him a little bit, but he would never show it.
I think
You'd see me. You'd see Raul turn and give her just an evil look.
Don't give me that route.
Have you two been traveling together long?
We've been living in the same.
It does.
Place for a while now.
promote,
Six months.
6 months,
6 months.
you
So
know.
you guys are well antiquated
Yeah.
with one another.
does promote companionship, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. He's much more of a softie than he wants anyone to know.
Just a bit shy.
He doesn't
Yeah.
look like a softie at all.
Yeah.
soft in the flesh, baby.
Yeah. If y'all want off the island, we're
I would love off the island.
well. It's not really up to me. I guess it's not my boat. Cedric, it is your ship.
Yes, let us take to the Oleander.
Well, you know, I kind of said that I'd help him finish this thing. I made a promise.
It also sounded like the people here are planning to launch a attack probably by morning against Sorosa.
Yeah, it did kind of sound that way. But I think maybe we still have 14 days, right? Some more planning other than, oh, cool, second thing done. We should run in and all die. That would be horrible.
Our current plan, that's been discussed, not openly, but between some of us, is that we would take to beyond the Maw. We considered going against their people to make sure there was no additional resistance when Sarosa is summoned. But he looks at Nalia. That was Nalia's idea. And Nalia kind of shows a little bit of, like, an air of tension. What we've done is so, in a way, dishonorable that I myself wish to take the fight to Sarosa on even ground.
Yeah, and it also, a preemptive strike like that is horrible for peace after. You're still going to have to share this island with these people. I know the idea of it isn't appealing, but they should no longer hold any sway over you.
Nalia actually looks interested by that, what you say. We never really thought about that.
Yeah.
If Sarosa wasn't here to lead the creatures of the Maw, if it's possible that the Serpent's Coil would, without leadership, be more open to true peace. Nothing bound in the Falls of Ero.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that's what you had considered the whole time, but...
We honestly didn't think this day would come, Everett. She looks genuinely happy in that moment.
That's fair. That's fair.
Take the head off the serpent. The cockroaches will scatter.
I agree with Rylal.
Strong and wise.
Hi.
There is a ceremony that the Tigran and Leonar people, our prides, we are the ones that summoned Sarosa just outside the Maw on the 9th day of Relnavar's dawn. We use a bit of blood from the proposed sacrifices to bring her about from wherever she comes from in the Maw. There's nothing that says that we can't bring her about early, but we also have 15 days before she will come about herself. If we're late, then she will come looking for us, of course. But if we're going to finish this, we need to finish it strong, but also be rested and ready.
Yeah, well, also we know where it will appear, so a trap is quite easy, and it's...
We can take you to the place, but it is relatively close to the Serpent's Coil, within eyesight depending on the time of day.
I see.
During the summoning, however, the closer you get to the Maw, mist befalls that area and makes it almost impossible to see everything but the summoning circle itself.
That could be useful in setting a trap.
Yeah. Do both of your entire clans attend this ceremony? Or is it just the higher-ups and the sacrifices?
In the years whenever... And he kind of trails off, and then Nalia. When things were normal, our parents would make us take the sacrifices to the Maw, and we would be the ones to watch them.
That's rough.
It was.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Thankfully, Sarosa does not typically play with her food. But nonetheless, it was... I do have a question. Mr. Cedric, you do seem keen to leave. I do know that if Everett plans on helping, I wouldn't ask another to do so. If you don't wish to participate in this, I would not ask you to do it. You've done so much for us already, and I'm so thankful.
I only wish to sail to the Maw. in Serpent's Coil, I do not wish to stop assisting. Whether or not I was forced into it or not, I have made an oath to this place, and by Essos, I plan to keep that oath.
Oh, what's wrong? Are you tired of walks in the jungle? Or you just miss your boat that much?
I would also say it to you, Rylan and Zira. We will do our best if these brave people plan to help us, regardless of whatever end. I can tell you the place where there is a ship if you don't wish to help us. And I would understand that. We've kept you in a hole for 6 months. We will get you out of here regardless.
Well, I have grown quite fond of you and Kaylin, and I would be happy to help.
Kaylin looks at Rylal. I know perhaps we've never seen eye to eye, and maybe that's because I am shorter than you and not as wide. But Rylal, if I've learned anything about you, is that you are a warrior, and I've seen your age, and I would give anything to have your axe on the battlefield the day that we take the fight to Sorosa. If at all, just to see how capable you are in battle. And Kalen does hold himself as a warrior in your eyes. He does stand and talk like one, at times at least. When Nalia's around, he gets a little gushy.
I'll gladly help you take the head of that serpent. How many people attend this summoning?
However many that we take. Typically, it would just be us and the sacrifices, so we can take as many as we want.
Well, yeah, we could hide whoever's willing to fight in the mists. When the time is right.
As long as we stay out of the sight of the serpent's coil, Sorosa won't know what hit her.
Yeah.
Any chance the other tribe shows up?
Nalia kind of speaks up. Well, the pride of Olin will help us too. The only one we have to worry about is the serpent's coil itself, which is near the maw, but to be honest, they're very recluse in their actions as of the past years. We rarely see their pride master, tribal master, whatever it is. Usually we only see Sorosa, and just for a few moments. She takes the sacrifices quickly and back into the maw.
So we won't have a lot of time to strike, then.
I've never seen Sorosa do anything more than take her victims quickly back into the spiraling vortex that she comes from.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate, because if it runs...
I think a
this was
trap
all
would
for naught.
probably be our best bet in this instance, from what information I'm gathering. And
She's not that big.
Oh, really? I imagine this thing to be giant.
She stands, so this is Nalia. She stands about as tall as me, and Nalia is tall. She even stands about a head taller than you, but it's because she's half Leonard. She's a big creature.
Yeah.
What makes her taller is when she stands on her snakes. She has 4 arms and about 8 snake appendages that come from her back, and they lift her up almost like stilts, and she walks around on them, but she's not overtly large. When she comes up, if we were to knock her off her pedestal and perhaps, I don't know, push a boulder in its stead, she couldn't get out quickly.
That's not a bad idea.
We created, and she points at where you guys just came out of. We have tribal people that can mold the earth like this. We could make something.
Yeah, even just a hole that we could drop her in.
Something, yeah. Whatever we can come up with. There are individuals coming around and past you now. A celebration is kind of beginning around you, and you can see that even some of the pride of Oland are beginning to trickle into the village.
Oh, wow.
Continue.
So sounds like there are two big decisions to make upon this. Is one, should we strike when there is mist and she's expecting sacrifice, or should we strike before then? The second decision we need to make is what sacrifice would draw her out in that time being.
All that we need is blood. Not a lot.
Blood is easy enough to come by.
He holds up his bloody hand.
As big as he is, he's got
blood
extra.
on the wall.
We could probably use about that much. Maybe don't do that until the day of again.
So
But,
that will be enough, but then the timing is important.
I think that it would probably be prudent to wait until the mist is covering, just not only to give us a bit more stealth, and you would see me kind of smile when I said that, but also we don't want her to become suspicious that we've called her early.
Yeah, I mean, traps work best when...
They're least expecting it.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Hi.
And she'll be hungry. Her attention is focused elsewhere.
Yeah, she'll be expecting a gift, not a trap.
That mist earlier, it kind of turns to an all-out downpour for about 15 seconds, but then it trickles back into a mist.
Does it?
Just a note. Continue.
Yeah, it's not rained once in the 6 months we've been here.
Just intermittent. Not very much, but it's very much, yeah. And, yeah, I'm just pointing it out. Just all of a sudden you guys are standing there, and it's just like a passing complete downpour for about 15 seconds, and then it stops. And everyone kind of looks up for a second.
Weather's weird.
Yeah, it is acting funny, just as a note.
Does Sorosa need fresh blood?
She does.
Does she know when it's not fresh?
To be honest, we've never tried it. We usually take the sacrifices to the altar and cut their hands and let them bleed on the stone, and then she comes.
I see you guys got into a fight recently and are covered in blood.
I did.
Where are the bodies?
Our kerfuffle, really. Not really.
They,
They're already put to rest.
I see where you're going. Perhaps one of the shamans could
don't-
maintain the blood.
You don't have to do that.
I would ask, and he looks at you again, Sir Cedric. Sir Cedric, would you mind collecting some blood from what's left of my mother that's scattered across the ground over there?
I can do that.
Would that be the first time that we've heard that it was their mother, or his mother?
No, you know that
Okay.
Solthara is his mother, and that kind of was the plan, but you can see that Kalen's actually doing a very good job of not showing his true emotions, but your kind of passive insight here, like he's hurting deep in there, but it's that warrior way. You gotta keep moving.
Wouldn't their chains be unleashed the moment Sir Silthara died?
The bonding of Ero between the three, or them?
Those two.
That is actually a good note. I would say that pact that you had at the Bond of Ero, where they kind of bound you to their people so they could guide you, you do feel a weight lift off your shoulders, but it would have happened about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
So, which you, Kalen, and Nalia would have made you expect that.
Yeah.
So they were like, if
Okay.
everything goes well, if you feel it release, then things are going well. So yeah, I would, and just a general note. These people do seem relatively trustworthy. Now, whether or not the big guy seems trustworthy to you guys is totally up to you. Because he big and large and just like...
Piercing eyes.
Yeah, he pulled some rocks off the wall when he did that. There was like sparks flying.
He ain't full of shit. I'm sure he's fine.
But yeah. Yeah. So... Before we jump into the celebration, well, Sir Cedric, actually, we'll go with you on how would you like to collect what's left of the one half of of Silthora? If
I
there is
guess
there any,
grab her by the foot and hang it upside down and try to collect something running off or dripping.
a shaman comes running over and kind of puts a bowl underneath. Kalen just speaking to him, and you just literally just kind of walk over and almost like Omni-Man, a person just holding it there.
Half. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, so Rylal and Zira, you see half a banana split of a person.
That's so Ian.
It's so Ian. Ian's kind of fatality when he gets a finishing blow is to split someone in half long ways. So he's holding up half of Silthara and then bloodletting her into a bowl. What's left? With
I
that
don't
though,
want to do this, by the way. I don't.
yeah,
think
he's just
blood's
doing
good.
it because he's doing it.
I
But
don't want to do it.
I'm helping someone out. This is not.
While he's holding the body, I'll walk over with a dagger in hand and start making tiny cuts into the body towards the bottom.
yeah, a lot of the blood's already gone. So with him doing the
digging
maybe-
deep in there, trying
yeah,
to find the.
so he
nooks and
walks
crannies.
over, gets into the nooks and crannies. And you get some blood, and then the shaman takes it away, performing some kind of ritual upon it, maybe to help maintain it. But with that, real quick, we'll take our first break because Andrea said she's got to go to the bathrooms.
I'm so bad. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I'll do
okay.
too.
It's okay. No worries. And we'll be right.
That is probably from Family Life.
Is that what it is? We're back on, by the way. But man,
That's
like
called-
she would get.
There's this plate of food in front of me, and if I don't finish it, I'm a bad
That's a problem.
person.
I
That's
love to
caused
cook,
me to say.
and I will cook her
gain
food,
weight.
and I'll accidentally
Yeah.
like give her
Yeah.
too much, and I'll be like, "Hey, just don't." When you're full, stop. But she will
Yes.
just be sitting there
Yeah, no, trying to force
trying
it
to
in.
finish it.
As kids, every once in a while, we'd be served something, and we were told you do not get up till that plate is
Yeah.
cleared. And a lot of times, it wasn't like too much food; it was the food we don't like.
Yeah, you wind
So
up
like
sitting there for fucking
spinach,
2
Brussels
hours.
sprouts, like things that kids don't usually eat. So
Right,
and her staring across the table at me, gagging, eating Brussels sprouts, telling me she loves them.
I still gag if I try to eat Brussels sprouts.
Do you really?
Aromatic.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wanted to do one
aromatic
thing real
foods are
quick.
tough.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
talk for a second.
Brussels sprouts, broccoli.
I love
Tough
Brussels
to eat.
sprouts.
See, that's funny.
Nope.
I haven't run into anybody
I'm getting
else
better
that
with
got
broccoli. I'm
that
getting
as
better
a
with
kid.
broccoli.
Oh, I also got that as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
Having to sit there
Until
and
you finish your
yeah,
plate.
whether you
Oh.
liked it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened every once in a while. It wasn't everything. It happened every once in a while. But
Yeah,
I think
I
I
was
think
super picky.
enough of the once in a while has kind of reinforced an idea that
Oh, yeah.
if food's on my plate, I am going to finish it.
He has
If-
gotten
if,
better.
If I have a drink in front of me, I am going to finish it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, negatives tend to stick around way longer than
Any
anything
positives?
else. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that sad?
It is.
I mean, yeah, but that's how we learn. If we
It's
didn't,
like the way of the world too.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
anything else. You
Don't
remember the
waste
bad things
anything.
about
There's
people.
starving
Yeah.
children in
Way more
Africa.
than the good.
now we didn't get hit with that one. Not from our
I did.
parents. Our parents. they
I
didn't hit
think
us with
once
that
or
one.
twice they said that.
I did. I got hit with that one.
no, ours was that we ain't got money to cook 2 meals. You're gonna eat what we're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
we were
would've been
poor,
more- that would've
so
been
they were
more
like,
of-
eat your food.
Yeah. Yeah. It was always
They're
my
like, we're
mom,
having
so
beans
like whatever it was.
and cornbread again.
Yeah.
Dude,
If you
beans
want
and
to
fucking
eat food.
cornbread.
I made
we had
that
that
a
fucking
couple
3
weeks
times
ago.
a week, dude. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good these days to have it every now and again. My mom would always make, my grandma would make fried potatoes with it, beans and cornbread.
Yes.
Yep.
We would
My mom
put the ham cubes in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ham cubes.
See, that sounds. We just got fucking
we didn't have that.
beans.
I
We had
had
salads.
Like that.
We had
That was
nasty
like us.
We had mac and cheese.
jar of
Yeah, mac
snot
and
beans
cheese.
that they just throw in a.
Yeah.
Yeah, the equivalent of like the potatoes for you guys. That was the ham cubes was our potatoes.
See,
That's
my mom was bad about spaghetti. Every other
We had
night was
spaghetti.
spaghetti.
You don't want to talk
Spaghetti
about
noodles?
spaghetti with
I
me.
don't-
sauce, and
I
then
can't-
shredded
I can't
Colby
eat
Jack
it anymore.
cheese.
Watered down fucking sauce.
Garden
Yes.
chunky with
Not
ragu.
cooked right.
Yeah.
And then you put
So we're
water
good.
in it to
Not
get the
cooked
rest
right
of
in
it
the
and pour it in. We saw our parents do it.
do
We're
it.
like, "Oh, this is normal. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
They
no.
could have gone mushrooms. They could have gone just
Could have done
plain.
anything.
They could have gone meatball flavored. No, garden chunky.
You know,
My mom didn't cook the sauce long
shitty.
enough. It was all fucking watery. When you make the spaghetti and it's like you have like your bit of spaghetti and like the sauce, but there's that ring of water around
Oh.
it.
Right.
Yep.
You didn't cook the fucking water out of your sauce and you
had
just put it on the plate.
That's why
you had
buttery
fucking pasta soup.
I saw
buttery
that.
noodles. Where's
know.
that? Just skip the sauce. Buttery noodles.
Buttered noodles are actually okay depending on the noodle.
The first time I made spaghetti for him, he was dreading it. He was dreading it, and then he tasted it, and he was like, "This is actually good."
It's not ketchup and plain noodles. Let's go.
I love my parents very much. Love them. To
You don't have to tell me anything, dude. I've ate their cooking.
but they don't season their food.
Mostly Bob. Mostly
and-
Bob.
Why
Dad
is-
tries a little.
And so like
Oh fuck!
unfortunately we had a lot of bland food. So
I was really happy
But-
to have you guys over for Thanksgiving and make them good food.
Garlic
I really,
bread.
Really was okay with
The
that.
garlic bread was the shit. You had to admit, Dad made the best garlic bread.
Garlic bread's so easy, though.
is.
To be fair,
It is.
Garlic, cheese, and toast.
We took our wins, okay?
you can take
whole frozen
garlic.
loaves.
Yeah, you take some garlic and some Italian bread, some butter, and some cheese. You can make it work pretty easy.
Yeah.
So
my dad complained one time. And he's like, your mother doesn't like having any salt or pepper in her food.
Oh my
So like, there wouldn't be any of that
the
in there.
foundation of seasoning.
Do you want to know the first thing she ever cooked for me?
Sure.
An unseasoned deer roast.
Oh no. Oh, that's the worst.
That's a tough one right there.
Literally.
So
Literally. No,
I bet
not
her blood pressure's good though.
bet. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But she's
Blood
got good blood
pressure.
pressure.
Her
Good
x-rays
lady.
were good. She keeps telling us she's
Dude,
fine.
she was in the what branch of the
cholesterol's
military did she
probably
come
good.
from?
Navy.
She was in the Navy, bro. She's a badass. She's just like fuck seasoning, apparently.
Yeah.
I get it. Whatever.
Good cholesterol.
They probably don't use it on the ships very much.
Nope.
All that shit comes out of not a can, I
Well,
guess.
eating
bag.
there is always like an event for me because
Oh,
I
it's
grew up-
something.
my mom and me, like, we are seasoners. Like,
Yeah. You cook.
we cook.
That's what it is. You cook. That's the big difference.
Yeah,
She's a salt fiend.
I am a salt fiend.
Ian, you still a salt fiend? Yeah, Ian really
yeah.
likes salt
I
too.
got three
I've
different
ha- I
kinds
have
of salt
cut
on
Andrea
my
hates
countertop right
salt.
now.
You don't hate salt, but if it goes too far,
There is a limit.
yeah, you're just like no way.
One grain of salt is way too much salt.
Yeah.
One over the limit is
100%.
way too much.
Yep.
I agree.
That's why you gotta
watch salt
taste while you
and
cook, man.
You
You gotta taste along the way.
gotta season in
You
layers.
can't
You gotta
just
taste
toss
when
it
you
and
cook.
just let it go. Like,
He hasn't complained about my cooking in a really long time, so
You've only made one bad meal. That was
At least he's
pancakes.
honest too.
it was pancakes.
She knew it was bad.
Did you burn them or something?
No, they were gluten free.
Oh well, listen.
So early on,
Yeah.
gluten free stuff was
Yeah, well, you're learning about gluten-free options, and yeah,
Well,
it's hard.
in like 2011, right when I went.
Oh, in the dark
gluten-free-
times of gluten-free.
That's when I went gluten free. So like it was rough there for a few years.
Gluten free before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she has to do it because she has to. She
Yeah.
didn't just do it because it was cool.
I have celiac.
Yeah.
So I say celiac disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out.
And lupus.
Checks out.
And Sjogren's syndrome.
Yeah. See, she's got the.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. Welcome to another triumvirate. Good lord.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but yeah, I don't think I've had gluten-free pancakes,
Oh,
but I've
the
had
ones I make
alternative
now.
pancakes.
The ones I make now are so good.
Yeah,
But
well, there
I
you go,
like,
see?
make them from scratch.
Yeah,
because-
you have to. When
Yeah.
it's pancakes, you have to.
Yeah.
The box stuff is fine for a quickie, but if you're gluten free, you don't really have a choice.
there are gluten free box stuff. That's
Yeah,
Is
just-
there?
Yeah.
So that's the thing too.
That's what I made.
She
Yeah,
takes
that makes
she'll
sense.
take the box stuff,
Like
but
water?
she adds
Change
to
it.
it, right?
I
She
change
changes
Yeah,
it
of
up
course.
and adds stuff. And
Well,
makes
that-
it,
Bruce, you're
Dude,
up.
you can make gourmet hamburger helper if you
Yes.
add stuff to it.
I
Like
had
it's
hamburger
very
helper
possible.
tonight.
Yeah, you can make
I
it
fucking
good.
love
Dude, they
hamburgers.
have gluten free hamburger helper now.
Do they really?
Yeah, they
I
have gluten free
fucking
hamburger
That's
helper
awesome.
now, and it's amazing.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With all the crazy alternatives for things now, it's great. Even
Yeah.
for people that are trying to be healthy, there's so many
Yeah.
foods with these artificial sweeteners and shit that have little to no calories. Who knows how fucked up our gut biomes are going to be in 20 years and if we're all going to have cancer?
Probably bad.
But You know, it's
It's
not
good
bad.
for now.
It's good for now.
I feel great.
So yeah, growing up on that. See, here's the thing. My mom, same kind of cooking as your parents, and that's the reason why I made it to 400 pounds one time in my life, because those sons of bitches. So I will eat and drink as many alternatives as I can now, 100%. But go ahead.
The one thing that she'd make really well, lasagna. For whatever reason, she can make lasagna.
Because that was
Dude,
Dad's
birthday
favorite meal.
coming up.
You got a what
my
going
wife
on?
makes homemade lasagna for my birthday every year. Only time that I eat it.
Chelsea knock out a good homemade lasagna?
So fucking ready for it. Got about 30 days.
Dude, I can't wait to hear about it. I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait.
eat that bitch for 3 or 4 days. Oh, I can't wait.
So what? You don't let nobody else fucking. No, it's my lasagna. Fucking.
The first, so like we'll have a dinner and everyone will get some of it at the dinner.
But then
And
it's
then
yours.
the rest of it is mine. Yeah. And I'll have it 3 more
No,
times.
fuck you. It's
3,
my
4 days.
lasagna.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with a red velvet cake.
yeah.
I always like a fucking red velvet cake for my birthday, and I just want like everyone can have a little bit, but then I want to eat it the rest of the week. That's how I used to be. Now I just tell them not to give me one because I will eat it all. I will
love
eat all of it.
lasagna.
Will, he will.
It's
After
so
D&D,
bad
I'm
for
a
you.
fucking monster.
Get him enough drinks, and he's just like,
I can do.
doesn't matter.
I'm on the level of eating when I am carnivorous as Ian. You guys don't understand how much food we can put away. Which maybe Chris, maybe you can too, but it's
Pretty
ungodly.
alarming.
It
Pretty
is.
alarming when you watch it.
He
I
always
could probably
gets a
fucking-
cheesecake. So,
Oh God, I
which
love
was
that
a couple
too.
weeks ago.
Love that too.
He got his cheesecake. So
yep,
All
his
right.
birthday cheesecake.
Let's jump back into a celebration since we're talking about food and things.
yeah.
So after bloodletting, Sulfara, the Tigran canopies begin to become very jovial. I just felt like saying that. With a bit of a celebration and music and food. Over the several hours, as you guys kind of maneuver about this little impromptu festival of sorts of celebration, as I said, trickling in are those from the Pride of Oland. And I will make a point that it does seem to be that a lot of the younger seem to maybe not know one another from the different prides, but to be of very much like mind. So everything's going very well. They're making these interesting kind of mixed drinks of sorts with different spices and things. If any of you partake in it, it's a very bitter, spicy substance. But you can see that some of the Tigran and Leonar are, I mean, in short, getting a little blitzed. They're having a good time. Everyone's kind of letting loose. 2 of the chains have been broken of the old Pact of Eros. So everyone's having a good time. It seems like they've put away talk of what to do about the Maw in the coming, 2 weeks or so, and are just celebrating. So I'm going to put you guys kind of here within this celebration. There's Kalen, by the way, if you guys were curious.
Yes.
Yep, there's the man himself.
Okay.
Kalen's, he's a beautiful little cat boy.
Yeah.
When I say it like that without describing him, that sounds weird. He's a beautiful little furry. He's a
Honey,
furry
that's
boy.
worse. That's worse.
But yeah, I will throw you guys into the mix to do as you will. So,
I do have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
The Tigran people, are they all seem to be warrior types?
And the Pride of Oland as well. All very So
Warrior tribes.
Sorborg lives in the past.
Okay.
They have not become modernized with the rest of the realm, and even though you're not familiar with the realm, you come from a place that was at least semi-civilized, maybe in some way or the other. Here, these people are even like it's like kill or be killed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is Nalia or Kalen nearby?
yeah. They are. You guys are being celebrated. You guys weren't a part of the battle, but being of just by joining them. You guys are being celebrated as the would-be potential saviors of the Isle. So yeah, they're both kind of hanging around you.
I would think because they're not Tigran or Leonard that they would also stand down that way anyway.
Oh, they are standing
you know?
out, but the Tigran people know them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they know of you because you were supposed to be their sacrifice.
We were also there for 6 months.
You were there for
One
6 months.
interesting thing just with the Leonard tribe is there is one single one from the mall, a
That's
With the pride of Oland.
That's the,
Yeah.
Cinna.
Cinna. There is
Yeah,
a
which Cinna's
one-
not here. She
hasn't arrived. Okay, never
She
mind.
is tending to Brunika at the Pride of Oland.
Okay.
Yeah, any of the like Cinna, the old lion, and like the Chefenbor, they haven't come.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
some of the
Just
people,
some of the other- okay.
some of like think of like Nalia's besties have arrived. And
Okay.
are partying with her at the
Okay,
Tiger and Canopies.
gotcha.
Hey, we're going to my boyfriend's house to have a party, that kind of thing. But yeah, so
Frat party.
Caitlin and Nalia are nearby. What would you like to do?
I would approach them
Sure.
and I look at them and go, what did you do with the body?
Nalia kind of turns. Which one?
The one that we did the bloodletting on?
She looks at Kaylin. I had one of the shamans take my mother to her tent. What was left of her. Why do you ask?
Where I come from, we always had a ceremony around a body, whether it was for ill or for good that they fell.
Kaylin like closes his eyes hard. We have a similar thing, and you're right, it should be honored.
Do you guys need help preparing the body at all?
If there's anything that I can do for my mother this night, it's that. But I will take your help. If you would give it.
I'll offer it.
He points you toward the hut. We should have enough wood and kindling. We'll do it in the back end of the village as to not disturb the celebration, but... And he kind of gives you a slight smile. Thank you. I shouldn't have had to have been reminded that this is the proper way. I'm so excited to move beyond my Silthara's binding of our people. It's difficult. And he kind of shakes his head.
Do you have medical supplies or a bare minimum animal handling supplies to be able to handle the body and put it back together?
The shamans do. And that's that's why I had Sir Cedric throw the other half over there. And you do, as you kind of approach it, you do see the equivalent of a Tigran, we'll call it a witch doctor of sorts, actually doing kind of what you're alluding to, putting the pieces back together and essentially sewing the pieces back together, making it ready, and then after about 15-20 minutes of that, begins to wrap it. In that time, if you would like to help Kaylin gather fuel for the pyre, he wouldn't mind that if you'd help him. So,
Nope.
yeah. So I would say that the rest of the party does notice that this is happening. That Kaylin and Rylal have kind of exited the party atmosphere and are tending to that. So we'll kind of split it a little bit there. If anyone would like to go and aid in that in any way, feel free. But if the rest of you are doing other things, we'll jump to you real quick. What's everyone else doing?
I want to go talk to Zero real quick.
Sure, go right ahead.
It's Zero, right?
Zero. Yep.
Zero. Okay, I want to make sure it was a zero. Yeah, okay.
We're adding vowels.
I just want to make sure. Yeah. Miss Zira,
Yes.
I wanted to, since you are a learned type, I wanted to explain to you that there was perhaps more to this than just taking down the leaders of Sorborg. And
I might already have an inkling of this. Back in the day, I did discover some things that, and I will be very vague about this. Discover some things that those who are in charge of this realm do not really want the public to know. And of course, no one believed me, but I do indeed do my own research. And one day I will expose the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stare at her with such wonder. I feel as though you are talking about things that are above what's happening here on this island. And
Most
I
definitely.
will not support nor deny your claims. I will support your cause and what you are attempting to do.
Well, honestly, just the fact that you are one of the 13 adds some evidence to my already compiling list. So, I appreciate the fact that I have met you.
I am happy to have met you as well. But I feel as though you have a relation with Raylaw that none of us have at this point. So this is knowledge that I wish to impart upon you. So not only are we attempting to free Sorborg from the tyranny of the 3 clans that have created this pact that requires sacrifice, a yearly sacrifice
Yes.
to the minor god beast Sarosa. But in doing so, we have also promised this island that they will have essentially a peacekeeper or a speaker that will be able to speak upon the high lords of the land and provide trade and essentially colonize the land in a more appropriate manner by doing this. So
Sounds
this
like
is,
things will be moving in the right direction as long as our plans work out then.
yes, I felt that you should have been, given that knowledge that we are not only just killing leaders to break a pact, but hopefully to provide more civilization to this more uncivilized land, as I'm finding out to be, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate the distinction, knowing that it's not just your goal to just overthrow the rulers for the hell of it. But yes, no, I definitely could get behind that.
Also, I'm very curious. I think you and I should talk about your theories and claims about the knowledge that you have acquired. You've greatly piqued my interest because I feel as though I've lost many memories, and I know not as much as I should.
What I will say for this, for the sake of the other players not hearing certain things, you've read the complete true Aloran histories. So have you as a player, Jophiel. Mm-hmm. You both have a conversation about what she knows, and it jogs your memory to the point of what you read this week.
Yes.
So we will save the other 2 from hearing that right now so that it doesn't, yeah. But I will say that you guys have that conversation over the next hour or so.
Yes. I was just going to say that I
you
would
gain-
warily, look at the paladin.
Yeah.
I would warily,
Yeah, you guys kind of exit
look at
stage
the paladin
left.
and be like, not in front
Yeah.
of mixed company.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys kind of find a place and you speak of it, and the more that she talks, the more you remember and the more you can add to the conversation. But there's still some things that you can't figure out.
There's shared knowledge between us that kind of connects certain dots, but not. Yeah.
The more that she speaks, perhaps at first you didn't believe that she was who she claims to be, but the more that you speak to her, the more it seems possible.
Affirmation.
Maybe
of
you
each.
don't believe it, but it is possible. Bouncing back over to Rylal and Kaylin, the body's been prepared, and you and Kaylin kind of wordlessly gather wooden things for the pyre. and have set it up. I would say that as you guys are doing that Everett, Cedric, Alex, Dawnkeeper, you guys kind of see this happening, and not knowing a lot of these individuals other than Nalia, you kind of stumble in that direction, seeing Rylaw and Kalen doing this. But I will open up kind of the RP to you guys as this is happening. As Kalen's making ready to give his mother's body to the flame.
Do you say any words or anything like that?
I don't know if Sulthara needs words to make it beyond here to whatever.
Yes, where do your people go?
I think that you'd have to ask Sir Cedric. The people have a menial understanding of the way how souls work in this realm. We were always told that a soul, whenever taken from its body, is like a bird that flies to a great tree, though none of our people have ever seen it.
World tree?
As far as we've been told. The world soul tree, yes.
Yeah, I've heard Oland mentioned it once, I believe.
You think that's true, Rylaw? That when we die, our souls escape us like fleeting birds, going to hide in the roots of a tree?
I was taught differently. Death is not an escape for me and my people.
He kind of nods with that. We're not good at words, Everett. But if you have any to give to that of which you aided in me slaying.
Well, I never met your mother. But
She wasn't the nicest woman.
I'm sure that wasn't always the case.
He kind of clenches his eyes again. I will agree that she was nicer when I was much younger, yes. But regardless, she did what she thought was best for our people. And thanks to you, Cedric, she died a warrior's death. He holds back kind of, it's weird. Like on one side of its face, it's like sadness and perhaps a tear, but the other side, it's interest. You will have to show me that technique.
I can. So, believe it or not, it's about foot placement.
My footwork has never been the best, actually. I'm quite quick, great with a bow at long range, and deadly up close. But anyway, and he kind of like trails off.
Wide base
Wide base,
is
interesting.
the key.
I have thin hips. Anyway. Sir Cedric, my people give the dead, as Rylaw has spoken of earlier, whether for ill or good, we give them to the fire. What? I know that you are a paladin of Essos, presumably a member of the... Nalia says it's the Order of the Flame. It seems fitting. What is it that the paladins of the Church of this wider world say whenever you give one to the flames? As he's kind of like saying that, one of the shamans walk up and hand you a torch, Rylaw.
Well, I guess it depends on whether they serve their tenants well or not.
Sothar was She was decent. She tried to keep her people safe through subjugation, curfews. He seems to like being a little bit spiteful. You like to do right
while he's talking, I set my hand on his shoulder and grasp it hard enough to pull him from his process.
You bring him back.
And take the torch and put it into his hand. And then I will say, she died a good warrior's death. Free her. Let her escape.
He walks forward, places the flames below the makeshift pyre. They begin to alight. Is there any words from anyone? Kalen kind of takes a step back and he takes a knee before it. But does anyone have any words as this takes place?
Does Oland have anything to say? He's awfully quiet.
He has been quiet.
Yeah, he has.
Considerably.
Do you try and commune with him?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey,
Your girlfriend said.
you might want to look forward.
So, Raylal, you don't hear this. All I would say is being that of which is very connected to creatures, beasts, there does seem to be a greater presence here. At least in the back of your mind. Kind of like that. Not a danger sense. It's not menacing. It's just you feel a heaviness here. Everett, as you reach out through the cape and into that limbo place, my people do typically have words for the fallen, Everett. We just wish them safe flight, whatever afterlife that it is. I did love this woman. And I wish that I had my eyes still to gaze upon her one last time. So the only words that I can give her is safe flight, previous love. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I guess as the Kalen goes to light it up, safe flight. May you find your way.
Since you and I were talking, did we get a chance to be a part of this pyre?
Would you have liked to have stumbled across it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then toward the end, at this moment, we'll say.
Yeah, I would go up to the pyre, and I don't know if there's a way to say it or think it or however you may pray upon it. But I would say that to the pyre that I would say, I'm sorry I didn't give you a warrior's death that I feel that you deserved, but know that your death was not in vain in the end. And I thank you for your sacrifice.
I am curious, as the intellectual one of the party, do you say anything during this? I'm just curious of your take, because it's so interesting how you view things as your character. I'm just curious.
I would be observing, and I probably, if I said anything, I wouldn't say much.
Okay.
Maybe just say, even though we were your captives here, you still treated us well, and I thank you for that. And
Gotcha.
I hope that you pass to the next place with peace.
There is silence that befalls that for a time. Everyone's saying their piece or just watching. And eventually Sulthar is taken by the flame.
At the peak of the flame,
Yeah.
I would cast Fairy Fire as a display of the end.
Interesting. This is going to sound weird. Give me a performance check.
I believe in you.
We really need a bard in the party
Turns
at
out
this
it's
point.
a fucking
don't we?
illusion.
Nice.
That would
be
be
crazy.
18.
Not
It
bad.
was meant
wow.
to be.
Fucking, let's go.
As it was kind of described from Kaylin in that way, that like when a person dies, the soul flutters away like a bird and heads toward the world soul tree. With the fairy fire, you kind of outlined the end, and you watch as bits of that outlined energy of what is left of Silthara, as, you know, the pieces of her body turn to ash and flutter up within, from the embers up into the air. You almost see bits of that fairy fire outline bird-like creatures that begin to flutter off in a direction. But as you do that, and you do watch it, the fairy fire does fade quicker than you expect. Like it gets so far and then just kind of, it doesn't shut off. It just disappears, flickers out. And Sir Cedric, you're the only one that sees this. You don't see it, you feel it. You feel another soul enter your blade.
When he casts fairy fire, I would kind of nudge him and be like, "See, you are a big softy."
Do you react at all?
My right fist tightens into a ball that knuckles. You're going to get the white knuckle look.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That is a reaction of sorts.
Make my hands hurt.
So with that,
Don't be dainty fingers.
Yeah.
Alex drops his head, just in sadness. At the end of that ceremony, yet again, for about 15 seconds, just a torrential downpour of rain through the mist. But then it lets up again. But it was enough to almost put out the flames of what was left, but then they kind of rekindle and bundle back up. Yeah. And then the party continues.
Does the weather get weirder closer to sacrifice?
It is weird.
So that's a no.
We're not unused to sporadic weather. These are just short bouts of rain. It's probably nothing.
I would like to inside him.
Sure, go ahead.
These seem
Yeah, this
more
is,
than sporadic.
This seems very odd.
Although, I mean, it is a jungle environment, so.
15.
The 15, he just, you don't sense any deceit or anything. No
Regardless
deception.
of his thoughts, I will say this doesn't seem natural, even if it is this kind of environment.
It has definitely not been the standard while I've been here.
Yes.
Nalia would actually kind of speak up. It is kind of weird. But, I don't know.
I don't know anything about weather. I just think it's weird.
I know not of weather, but I do feel this is unnatural. But a lot of unnatural things have happened recently. I apologize if I cause it.
Jophiel. Nalia asked. I have a... Excuse me. I have a really odd question. I was just curious. Can one of the 13 get drunk?
Yes, yes. We are very much like mortals. Yes.
When was the last time that happened?
Oh,
Oh, that's right. You don't remember.
I feel that we try to be as like-minded as other mortals, so I feel in a past life it was something as easily done as it is for others. Can I do it? No. It's everything I drink and eat is ash, unfortunately. But I still crave that dwarven wine.
Does someone of your body mass, are they able to get drunk? Kalen slightly slurred one of his words. He's been drinking throughout the evening. So he just genuinely, like Nalia asked someone, so he turns to you just randomly and asks.
How many kegs do you have?
Proper way to answer.
I'm not the one that counts them, but lots. Many. We've actually bought quite a few from traveling merchants. We don't make the best spirits here. We procure most of them. Lots of beer. You like beer? Ale?
Ale's fine. But I will drink through your stock if you want me to. And I cannot be held responsible for my actions when this happens.
It's always nice to have a bit of fun.
My fun and your fun may be very different.
Perhaps.
I
to see.
would be very curious, but also a bit frightened to see what your version of fun is.
All I do is smile at you.
Jophiel cocks her head towards Rylal and just stares at him the same way he stared at her when they first met. And she just waits.
Meet your gaze with the same intensity.
She smiles.
Not breaking gaze.
There's way too much tenseness amid celebration. I just burned my mother at a pyre. Can we all go have a drink together?
Of course.
Yep.
Let's do that. Come on, Wyler. Quit staring daggers into one of the 13. She's a nice lady, I promise.
As I walk past Jophiel, I bump her with my hip.
You've been hip bumped.
Come on, we're going drinking.
Your hip appears larger than usual. Are you okay, Sir Whitlock?
What does that mean?
It means what I say.
I think
did
she's
not
trying to say you've
anticipate-
gained weight since you've been here.
I did not anticipate your hip to be there, yet there it was.
I moved it.
You did.
Okay, whatever. Come on. Quit staring. Let's go.
Maybe he's saying that. Never mind. Nalia trails off with a little bit of red in her cheeks. Sir Cedric, does one of your order, are they allowed to partake in the spoils of celebration?
We are.
Oh. Do you have a preference?
I'll probably be light on the celebration.
Why's that?
Well, the oath is not done just yet.
We've got 14 days.
14 days, like he said.
Can
You
not-
haven't untensed your shoulders since you got here 4 months ago.
Do we need to call upon Cinna to come talk to you about your giant biceps?
No.
I would be very curious about that statement and just be like,
Cinna is not required here.
Cinna's one of my pride that really likes the size of Sir Cedric's arms.
oh, I wonder if she would, what she would think of Rylal.
I have a feeling that she would be carnivorous if she was to see Rylal.
Very much so. In fact, we may want to head back that way.
I was going to
before
say,
we
you
leave.
planning on making introductions? That is curious. She is of
Cinna is
serpent
one of the Maw
descent?
turned ally. Saved me when I was a child, when I was bit by a poisonous viper. She was
That-
seeking... Go ahead.
That reminds me, Nadia, is Brunika okay? I haven't had a chance to ask about him since you returned.
Did you just call her Nadia?
Yes, she
Oh,
did.
sorry, Nalia.
Yes, she did.
My bad.
We've been celebrating already.
Yeah, we've been celebrating. We're having a good
We
time.
indeed have.
Brunika is, I didn't think he was going to make it, but he's well enough, sleeping, when I left. But that's been more than a day ago. Hopefully he will arrive within a few days.
Very well. He seemed to be the kindest and softest orc I've ever met, and I feared that the poisons would have gotten to him if not treated carefully.
He's resilient, just like our people, so it worked out for him. Though he did fall immediately in battle, but, I didn't tell him that 20 times over to keep him awake as I carried him on my back all the way back to the Pride.
I share in that sympathy.
I can't wait to tell his dad.
Does your tribe not have shadow flower and dagger root to handle all toxins?
No, but Cinna seems to know a great deal about a lot of the flowers and stuff on the island. We sadly to say we don't know a lot about a lot of the fauna on the island. So
Can I do a history check to see if I know anything?
sure, yeah, go right
I
ahead.
was gonna say while she's doing
Specific
that,
to the Isle of Sorborg.
common place is dagger root and shadow. What was
9.
it?
Neither of you recognize either of those.
I would say those two.
Not offhand, but none of you come from a background where you would either.
Those two
I
fauna
rolled a
are
9.
they
A 9?
commonplace?
With a 9, I would say that there is potential that you may have heard of some kind of dialect akin to what he said within Valenthius, which is the city of the elves, but you don't know what it would be needed for.
Okay.
Yeah. You may have came across it, but you're like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you maybe make a note of that, trying to figure it out. And we leave it to our shamans, but ever since Cinna came several years ago, she's done most of the healing for us. She sends us out to get flowers and things, but a lot of the time she doesn't give us names, just descriptions. I was never really big into flowers, though. Never paid much attention.
They can be quite useful.
You're a herbologist also, or you study the plant?
No.
Well, those were two oddly specific things that no one else has heard of. I just found it odd.
He does say
They-
odd things sometimes.
They are ingredients from my homeland that we use for all toxins. As my people sometimes like to poison each other for fun.
And looking at him as what you guys presume to be a Lobrakian,
Lobrakians.
knowing what you know, it wouldn't be beyond the shadow of doubt that they would do such things.
If you need a description of the flower, it's a dark hue of purple with a center of red. Red as blood, freshly drawn. And dagger root is a dark blue with specks of yellow. I would suggest the next time a trade merchant comes by, maybe ask them,
I will.
especially if you have serpent problems.
She does seem to take a note of that.
These herbs, they are antitoxins?
When mixed together properly, they are. If you don't mix them properly, though, you will die.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Do you recollect the amount of one versus the other?
No. See how big I am? They didn't let me near the plants.
Probably smart. Do your people often turn on each other?
Every day.
Were you, I'm assuming you brought here probably by the same people we were? 3 sisters?
Them bitch of pirates? Yes.
Yeah.
And at that mention of them, you'll notice my eyes start to turn a deeper red that's more noticeable.
Well, if you do decide to join us off this island, we're gonna try to run into them again. You know,
If you weren't,
and have words.
I was going to hunt those bitches down and
Yeah.
pike their heads.
Well, I just thought it odd that they'd turn in one of their own.
One of their own.
You do recall specifically Zira, that the Onibaro sisters are of Labrakian make in ways.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that either. I forgot.
Yeah, some of you picked it up when you met them, some of you didn't. It was it was hard to tell. They were big, but it was the skin that kind of gave it away. But you guys were so
Big
drugged
and
at the
gray.
time. It was hard, yeah. He does look akin to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just be like one of their own and then just kind of like chuckle again.
Rylal, I will allow you... Go ahead and give for me... I want 2 checks. Give me a history check and a persuasion check. Pretty please.
History is 7.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the persuasion is going to be
Oh no.
a 4.
Yeah.
So that all that I will say with that is that when he proposes that question, it doesn't make a lot of sense to you. So, not that it doesn't make sense. He's telling you or testing you or something. He's saying that you seem to be of the same make as those that captured you, the Onibaro sisters. So you can take that kind of however you will and run with it.
I make no
He
No
does
reaction.
He does the stoic thing of just no reaction and just looks at you.
Well,
He does.
I did make the comment.
That makes
He
sense.
does the Rylal.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
start referring to it as.
same. Like, was that what your reaction?
Yeah, my reaction was just like the same. The
Yeah,
same. And
and
then just
giggles.
kind of chuckle.
More
Yeah.
giggles.
So maybe you get a little bit more from her, but yeah, you can tuck that into your mind. Something to explore. Cedric too, Jophiel too, of course. You guys are all there.
Oh, well, I don't want to ruin the good time. We can wait till morning.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there is business that needs talked about, but we can wait.
There was another heavy downpour of rain. This time for about 8 to 10 seconds.
Like clouds? What's the sky look like? Are the clouds moving fast? There are no clouds? What's going
At
on
this
with that?
point, the light of the village is made up of that of torchlight. The moon seems to be either hidden behind clouds or something. The water, like I said, it's just every hour or so, just kind of a random like downpour between 4 to 20 seconds. Yeah. But the moon coverage, where it kind of went from kind of that bright, full-esque moon where you can almost see everything like it's daylight, you know what I mean? It's very much covered now, and it's gotten far darker.
Does the temperature change at all? Or is it just rain?
I would say that as the night has gone on, it's dropped a good 10 to 15 degrees, yeah?
Well,
but not
the rain, I guess.
With the rain, no, not at all. Not at all. So it's something,
weird.
it's odd.
That's so weird.
I am like curiously staring at the sky.
Yeah.
And like wondering what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
And like remembering and thinking about the weather patterns before and trying to figure out why this is different.
As you proposed your character is such a meticulous kind
Yeah.
of note taker in and out of the game.
Yeah.
This is odd.
Yeah.
This hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
It's a really weird weather pattern. It's off-putting. Not off-putting, it's just odd. It's just weird. I mean, it smells like rain. It's rain, like, and the rain doesn't completely stop. It kind of turns to mist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes to a light rain.
Yeah, it just goes heavy and stops. It's just interesting.
I don't like this weather. I don't have an explanation for it, and that is
Yeah.
troublesome to
I'm
me.
also not a fan. You
Yeah.
know, I was enjoying the island jungle weather.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of home, close to it.
I
This
wonder if it
sucks.
has something to do with the events of today,
Like something sad.
or the death of the leader of this tribe.
It did not rain when I killed Oland.
Well,
Actually,
something to consider.
The powers that be have been altered. 2 of the 3 have been slain.
True. The power could be affecting
But
nature.
does that mean that something bigger is watching this island?
I always feel eyes on me, so
I
something's
feel
always
like
watching.
When a power of 3 is disorientated, and especially when the majority is disorientated, that it is possible that the single power that is left may have more presence and more understanding of what has happened. I think, regardless of our actions to prepare for the day of sacrifice, she may know.
I guess I'd ask Oland. Just like, hey, this weather is quite odd. And you're probably the oldest one that I can ask.
As you know, Everett, I can't see. But I do sense something. Something familial, but not of my line, but something akin to it. There is a great presence.
Here in my world or in yours?
Here and now. Something is out there.
Pelt claw? But no, you said it. Like yours, not exactly yours.
I'm not sure.
Are you still being hunted?
Always. But I'm doing a good enough job of staying hidden.
As soon as this is over and we get your people into a better place, we'll see about actually getting you to rest. What you actually deserve.
You almost like feel him smile and growl. I still have a lot of fight in me, Everett. I promised that I would stick with you until you fell, and I will do so.
Well, I don't plan on doing that anytime soon, so you're gonna get tired sooner or later.
I never get tired. I was an old man whenever you stabbed me through the heart. Now, I'm in the prime of my life yet again, though I did have to gouge out my own eyes. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
There is, as you're
Weird flex,
saying
but
this, there is another torrential downpour of water. About 7 seconds this time.
Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
what time of the night are we getting to?
21.
Let's see. 2 a.m.
Oh, fuck,
Shit.
it's late.
What'd you get?
Y'all need
21.
to sleep. Or trance.
The rain, the way that it comes is almost as if it's carried by the wind,
Okay.
coming from the southwestern side of the bay, in that kind of direction of the isle. It comes sideways, not straight down, and then it's followed by mist. It's, yeah, with a 21, it almost seems, how to say this? It's, hello microphone, come back. It doesn't seem, it's almost as if, with the 21, here's what I will say. You, let's just say that you were yawning or coughing or something as it happened again, and you got just a little bit of the rainwater in your mouth, right? It's salty. It's not rainwater. It's
Seawater.
seawater.
It's come.
which is well, when you say it like that,
Oh God.
or maybe it's just fucking seawater. Jesus Christ. I'll never talk about fucking water in anyone's mouth ever again,
Nothing salty
Ian.
again,
Thanks,
that's
buddy.
liquid.
I've had too many Diet Cokes.
We're all sitting here drinking. You bastard. It is undoubtedly seawater.
That's not good.
When I taste it, I would say
Seawater. She tastes seawater,
Yeah.
Cedric.
Not semen.
If that's what we're calling it.
I would say, well, that is most definitely not rain. That is water of the sea.
It happens again in about 11 seconds this time.
What in
Almost
the world?
like it's like a splash.
A splash carried by the wind, maybe.
What is big enough to cause such a splash to carry water so far inland? Coming from the direction of what I do believe is the coil.
I do believe this is not necessarily a good thing.
I also don't think that.
We should be cautious.
You said it's getting late, so everything's probably trying to quiet down. If I keep an ear out, maybe like find, I'm going to go somewhere high and kind of cock my head, cut my ear, fucking listen real
You
hard.
gotta start listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Understood. So you kind of wander off and you begin to listen to things. Curious about the night's events thus far. Sir Cedric, with everything going on, I'm curious, what are you doing as the night goes on?
Probably just following the flow of traffic. If
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think that Sir Cedric is just ready to see a resolution of this place, and he's just doing his best to, yeah, you're having a good time, you're just quietly doing so.
A good enough time.
Yeah, understood.
Good enough time.
Yeah, good enough time. What about the rest of you? What are we doing?
I am going to venture off to the closest part of the. I don't know if it's called a river, but the closest part of the water of Sorborg from where I'm at.
Sure.
It's a sea, right? It's a bay. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
It's a bay, so if you call it the sea,
bay.
then you get in trouble, right? But it's
Yeah.
seawater.
Yeah.
I would go to that closest part.
It's like if
Seas,
you call the
baby.
Gulf the sea, they get mad.
It's all,
Yeah.
it's all channels of water.
It comes from the sea. So, Jophiel, you begin to head off toward the edge of the village,
Yes.
following one of the streams that lead down to the bay.
Yes.
Sure. How do you do so?
I would stay long enough for the festivities to reach a peak.
Yeah, they've
before,
started to
like,
start
people
quiet
start
down
to,
at
like,
this point.
Get severely drunk.
Oh, there's a
start to
lot of
sleep
drunk
things
people right
off,
now. Yeah.
Start to slowly start to quiet down as the peak and all that
Yeah.
happens and everything else. I would slowly just start to make my way.
Would you say that you are sneakily making your way, or you
I
just
don't
walk
feel
out?
a need to sneak away.
Okay,
I would
cool.
I would just walk.
Sure. So Jophiel takes a walk to the outside of the village. I will leave this open to each of you. Jophiel just kind of meanders about and eventually leaves toward the edge of the village, eventually going into the shadows. What you choose to do, whether it be... Well, I'm not even going to put anything into your mind. What you choose to do is up to you, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But Jophiel, you... Oh, I'm getting a DM. How interesting. All right. Just 1 second. You begin to walk toward the bay. And you realize just how dark it is. But you can see, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As you get closer, I mean, it's a good walk. I mean, you probably walk for 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I expected to.
And as you get to the edge of the bay, and you can hear the crashing of water onto rocks, you look up into the night sky. And where the moon should be, you see two specks. You're smart enough to know there's not two moons in Alora. But you recognize the eyes that are blotting out the moonlight. And in that moment, what is up there kind of spits water yet again as it crashes across the Isle of Sorborg. And it begins to kind of slowly drop its head. And the scale that this thing is, whenever it begins to release the moonlight back across Sorborg, it's almost kind of like a minor lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
This creature doesn't have a voice. It never did. But you can hear it within your mind.
Yeah.
Greetings, old friend. As you stare up toward the visage of Night River.
Yeah. Hello again. I have forgotten we were friends before, but I remembered to say goodbye the last time we spoke. At least.
I could tell that you were without your memories when you left. It was disorienting, though you did tell me about your plans whenever you entered the Umbral Ascent.
Did I?
You also told me not to release that information to you if you didn't already know it. So don't try, Jophiel.
I wouldn't. Although my brother said the same thing. And I told him I would find him and find it out if I must. And he seemed scared when I said that.
I will say that I have grown impatient already with this conversation, Jophiel. I'm not here to discuss your memories. I'm here to discuss the fact that you wish to kill my daughter.
That is something I came here to talk to you about, yes. Understand that I do not wish any ill harm to any mortal being, but this is the direction that this group has chosen. And
Go ahead.
we'll support it.
We will get to the fact that out of respect I will give you some modicum of room here to discuss, Jophiel. But what you need to know is that Ero is more than a place. It was created by us. The way that they have broken the contract is folly, and thusly, the Isle of Sorborg will be punished. I will give you two options to take to these people. The first is simple. For the actions of Nalia and Kaelin in making sure that their forebears were slain, to break 2/3 of the Pact of Ero, the Council and I will curse them for 7 years. For 7 years they will remain here as new Pride Masters. And for 7 years they will give 7 sacrifices to the Maw. But they will not be able to buy them. It will be from their prides. Not the old and not the young, but 7 newborns every year. Alternatively, you can allow Nalia and Kaelin to be this year's sacrifices to the Maw. The choice is up to you and those that you follow. Out of respect for you, Jophiel, I will hear your words of wisdom, for we have fought many battles together. But this is the ruling of the Council of the God Beasts. They have broken the pact of Ero, and thus shall be punished. There is a third choice, but I hope that you will not ask that of me.
If you give me options, of course I will ask it, because it is not truly up to me to make these decisions, but it is the ones I travel with that will make these decisions.
You will take whatever information that you wish back to them. I will make sure that you are long gone from this isle. The third option is that the Isle of Sorborg will be swallowed into the bay, to never reach the light of day ever again, for its people to live immortal beneath the fringe lands bay.
You say immortal, and you say that they will walk underneath the lands of the fringes?
To live, to never see the light of day ever again, to be cursed.
To be that of water, to be that of the land, but never to see the light
Why
of
do you
day.
speak of this in this way, Jophiel? We talk about righteousness. Take these quarrels back to them. Come back to me soon with an answer. If you choose to align yourself with Kaelin and Nalia, and his head kind of turns and swivels down, would you actually take a fight to my daughter? Would you try and kill her?
I would do so with a heavy heart. I would do so not lightly, and I would do so such righteously, lest the mortal company I have do so otherwise. I am their guidance, I am their mentor, I am not their decider on the actions. This is the way that we have created this world.
Then leave this isle, Jophiel, and allow them to seek their fate on their own. Intervene. And there's nothing that I can do. And he kind of raises up, blotting out the moon again. If you choose to aid them, Jophiel, I have many daughters. And then he disappears into the Fringelands Bay. But at that end, you almost felt that there was a grin there, as if he came here with words of wisdom from the council, but at the very end, he hinted towards something. He gave you what was needed to be told, but he gave you the option to do what you wish. To any of those that would like to have snuck away, you heard a one-sided conversation. You didn't hear what anything else said, just Jophiel speaking aloud. So take that as you will. If anyone was to have snuck about.
Xeria totally did. There's no doubt. I am one with the tweez.
What'd you like to do, Jophiel?
As that is the conversation I was expecting, so I would probably take a second to stare at the bay and look upon the river that reflects the moonlight, just for a second, just to know that it was real.
It seemed very real, and as you looked down,
To make sure the moon was real, like not a blotting him like a.
it's not. Well, no. I mean, you
Yeah.
realize Night River was spouting water to try to get your attention for hours, and eventually you came.
Yeah.
Whenever he stood up fully out of aggravation, he blotted out the moonlight, thus darkening Sorborg.
Yeah.
The moon can be seen now. You can see him floating away within the clarity of the bay. But you do, as you kind of look down, there are these pockets of air that come up, and each of one of them kind of burst. And you actually do hear words. There is an otherworldly voice, as if Night River left you little messages as he went away. as if he came to do what he did, but he left you something. And it says the following as they kind of pop and you hear someone speaking. The 13 are being made to look like villains. Ithrin saying they have sided with Voidreth to usher in the return of a new era. This is putting a bind on the relationship between the Triadic Conclave and the kingdoms governed by the High Lords. Potential conflict is coming. We, as the God Beast, remain neutral, though we will agree that Ithrin needs to be dealt with. Whatever you do, Jophiel, return to the Elate Seal. And then it stops. And that kind of enforces the fact that Night River came and showed the God Beast's force of this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he does still seem to be very much kind to you and trying to help.
Oh, yeah.
So you pick up those blots of information. They literally, it's like little air bubbles that just pop. And it's like blah, 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 blah. It's a very odd voice.
Okay.
But that is interesting information nonetheless. If, like I said, Everett, Cedric, if either of you, Rylaw, if like either any of you would have snuck off, you would have gotten all of that, other than the fact that it was a one-sided conversation. But then you would have gotten those little air bubble messages.
I mean, I snuck off before she snuck off.
Yeah, you kind of did. So I would say you found yourself in a tree, just all of a sudden looking up and like, holy shit, there's a giant serpent in the sky, which you have seen.
Second time, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
the
I've
second
seen it
time that you've seen Night River.
Would I have
So.
seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it
would
was
have
just
seen it. I just couldn't
she was
hear
looking up, talking.
what he was saying.
Yeah. So if Rylaw, if you were to have snuck away, this would have been probably your first time seeing a full-fledged God Beast. The only one that you've ever seen before is minor and on a much smaller scale.
I assume Kalen's trying to get me drunk.
Kalen, he put a giant straw in a barrel of beer, and he's seeing how fast you can chug it. So yeah. But, so Jophiel, would you make your way back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. After just making sure that it was real and, like,
Yeah.
reality has finished, because I feel like whenever Night River's around, reality is distorted more.
Right.
Then she would return back to the Tyrant canopies
Yeah.
late into the night, around 3 a.m. or so, and then done her 4 hours of rest.
Gotcha. So like I said, as it was proposed, you have a few options to work with.
Yeah.
Though there seems to be something more within there. Night River doesn't seem... You take what you will from how I said it, but that very end there...
Yeah.
You just-
no, I got it.
Yeah.
He
He's got a bunch of them.
He has lots of daughters, and
of 'em.
if one drops, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but just
I mean, he didn't say that. He just said he's got lots of them.
Yeah.
That's what she
And you
she did
understand,
take that.
yeah,
But there's options.
If you go with option one, it ruins Nalia's plans of a future for her people immediately by almost a decade. You go with option two, they probably die.
They both die.
You go
And
with
then
option three, they're gone forever.
But they get to
Everyone
live under
dies.
the water or under the land. Like, that's kind of cool, right?
No, that's not.
They
cool.
will-
That's a horrible fucking. curse.
Option three, they get the Atlantis effect.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They begin hidden, yeah, essentially.
Hey, I
but
could go
that
and stop
doesn't
by
mean-
and see him,
You want to see
But
mirror tigers?
Water.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's
That
cool.
sounds
Like,
kinda badass.
instead of
That's sick.
piranhas, there's tigers.
Fuck that. Never get in the water again.
They're probably not going to like you anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to take that as you will. But what I will say is that you do know, even though Night River seems to have hinted at the fact that this is what it is, and he will go with your judgment, that the other god beasts are deeply displeased that a pact of Ero is broken in this way.
So there's many of these things.
God beasts?
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
packs.
Oh.
They have.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That was
is the
Alex
thing.
asking.
Yeah, you
There's at
don't.
least one that's been broken.
There's at least one. There's at least one that's been broken in an interesting way.
Essentially,
But-
the god beasts don't like them fucking with their children,
Yeah.
and we're fucking with their children, despite how devilish it may be.
Well, and it also shows that Vrook's supposed to have control of Night River.
Pelclaw.
I thought it was
Vrook
both.
has bested Night River.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, but he
Okay.
is
I thought he had tamed both.
not quite tamed, but an understanding.
Okay.
Which, if you were listening, the fact that, well, you didn't hear his You didn't hear it, so you
Yeah,
don't know.
I didn't
you
hear
don't
that half.
know. You don't know.
Yeah, I really didn't
Yeah,
hear
we
much
can't. I
other
can't.
than
Yeah,
a choice.
Yeah, you can't. I can't elaborate on it because you don't know. But Vrook, yeah, there is a man out there that has bested 2 god beasts, and they've met him, and gained the
met
god
his
beast
son.
respect, and met his son, and then he got poisoned immediately, and now he's sitting somewhere else.
Yeah,
but anyway,
he's full of fucking information too.
He is.
super important information.
yeah, this meeting was very interesting.
Shit.
So
But we were gifted more knowledge.
yeah,
I mean, Night River did give me a lot of knowledge, not just
Yeah.
based on the Pact of Eero here, but the outside world and what's going on. Which
it
I was
does.
waiting for
It
Brunika
does
to
seem
tell me.
what you can understand is that maybe Night River wasn't supposed to give you news of what was going on outside, and he found a way to do so via his
Without
fart
doing so.
bubbles, essentially. Yeah,
His
he
abyssal bubbles.
he tooty abyssal farted messages to you essentially, which is hilarious.
Don't know how I feel. About that.
It's like little mini bubbles.
Yep. So you have to take this information back. That's gross. I have to pee, so I'm gonna take one more quick break here as we go into the last hour of tonight. As I after that we'll come back and you guys can decide the path that you will take. Sound good?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. But I have to.
I'm sorry, I had to say beanie bubbles
I
because
know.
after the week we've had with her with her little farts, we're like, is that like her shitting? Or
Ian, we had a sick dog shit in our bed, bro. Doesn't that sound fun? You ever had that happen? You ever had your woman be shit on by your dog?
We'll be right back.
You know, make everybody watch you eat pizza.
Good.
Yep. Yep. You,
Fucking smells good.
There's more upstairs. Do you want some? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
don't you remember that time you brought him Little Debbie's
Yep.
during the long session?
Yeah.
Yeah. He ate one of them and left another, and then you got mad that he didn't eat both of them?
Yeah, and then I ate the other one.
See, it's that stuff we were talking about earlier about finishing your
That
food.
wasn't the same one. There was one down here sitting in front of me last week too.
Yeah, I left
And
it
I
there
was
because
like,
it was a funny
wait a
little
sec.
thing. Because Andrea was like, "I can't believe he didn't eat his brownie too,"
I did.
I just needed the one.
and I just wanted to be like, "Honey, you know that there's 400 calories in that small little square."
I'm like, I don't care. I gave it to him. He needs to eat it.
Well, that was what I had to do to. Like, I'm down to 180. I finally fucking made it. I cut out soda.
What happened?
I cut out soda, cut out sweets, and
Uh-huh.
2 meals a day, no seconds.
No shits.
No seconds.
Oh, just no seconds. Yeah. Yeah. How
I
are you?
mean,
How are you living?
I mean,
You doing? You got?
I'm comfy,
You on the
I
nicotine
guess.
train or
oh
something?
yeah, I'm always on nicotine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
More
what does
caffeine,
it.
too.
Yeah, caffeine
So
and
that helps.
nicotine
Yeah.
can curve hunger. It's just that fact of doing something. Anywho's, I'll
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to you more about that
Yeah.
later on. But so,
Hang on.
huh?
We're good. Go.
Are we though? You still have food in your mouth. You have to swallow before we continue. Swallow the rainwater, seawater.
The semen.
Here we go.
Seawater.
Welcome back. Quote unquote.
I really hope that you had already pressed.
Oh yeah, no, it's we are
going for a
Yeah,
minute.
when you said it's live, it's live.
Seawater.
Yeah. So
No going back.
I'm gonna hand it over to you guys. We are talking the wee hours of the morning, 3-4 a.m. Jophiel wandering back to the encampment. You having overheard what you overheard. Everett as well. Rylal, go and roll for me a Constitution saving throw with advantage, please. I just want to see if you are at all inebriated by this weak spirit that these Tigran people have procured. Is there even a buzz within the Rylal?
17.
Yeah. Maybe the slightest tingling in the back of your head, but if you even encroach your rage, it just flows away. This is weak spirit. It is not on the level of your people at all. You just have a full stomach, and you're like, I haven't eaten anything. I've just drank things. So I'd say you're probably even more aggravated. So Jophiel, you wander back in.
Yeah.
It's gotten quiet,
Yeah.
but your allies are still awake. Rylal, having stayed here. Sir Cedric, did you stay or did you go and over here?
I would have stayed.
Okay, so you just kind of been wandering around, doing your thing, talking to Tatmar here and there. as she talks about how that one guy's bigger than you and you should work out more.
Sure.
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 Yeah, he uses
That's
an
why
axe.
you're in my blade.
Yeah, that's true. So, I'll hand it over to you guys. Jophiel, you have things to do.
Honestly, I feel like this requires everyone to be sober and focused. And I feel like after a night of drinking, there's not very many people sober or focused. So she will find a spot that is not like completely secluded, but just, there. And she'll just kind of lay against it and just wait the 4 hours that she needs to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And just watch if necessary.
Pull your mic closer when you talk.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You were doing the slouch talks.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, then those that followed or listened, you notice that Jophiel just goes and kind of leans up against a tree near a fire and sits there. Cedric, Rylaw, all of you are still awake, but you notice that Jophiel wandered away and then came back, and she's just sitting off in some corner by herself. What would you guys like to do?
Oh, Cedric, were you awake? What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'll probably just hang out, find somewhere comfortable to get, unless.
These late fuckers.
Cool.
My God. My Essos.
Hey, I know it's getting late. But I went out because that weather was weird, and well, it stopped, and the moon's back because the storm clouds were not storm clouds; they were Night River, and
Ooh.
yeah, well, Jophiel was also talking to it. I think I don't know if she was speaking. I don't know what it was doing, and then and then the river.
Yes, the river.
Spoke.
The river.
Look, I know you're gonna be like, hey, you've probably just had too much to drink. You should go to bed. I've had 2 cups.
So lightweight.
I've had more to drink than. Well,
I'll kind of look you up and down like, he doesn't seem too drunk.
I'm really
What's
not.
going on here?
Where are you guys at? Are you like?
You could have
I don't
stumbled
know.
across him at this point.
Yeah.
He walked back, and you watched Everett walk back into the village shortly after Jophiel did.
I tend to
Giving
like
you-
stick to the shadows.
Yeah, I mean, if you were on the out edge, you would have seen this happen,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be hard for you to just kind of be overhearing this. No one has told me that they're stealthily talking.
Yeah.
You being what you are, you're listening to this conversation.
Whenever I hear him like say that, you're gonna question my sanity.
Yeah.
After he finishes that,
Yeah.
I would just like come out of the shadows and be like,
From stage left.
I can confirm that the river was indeed talking.
Holy shit, that's creepy. Okay.
Rylaw comes
I didn't
walking
mean to
by with a
frighten you, I'm
barrel in his
sorry.
hand. Just kind of looks over and you see this conversation happening. All these proposed people that you're supposed to trust and adventure with are just kind of gathered here at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So I'd say you're in the vicinity too.
Yeah, so I just, figured I should tell someone else. But you already knew.
Yeah, I did.
So,
I did know.
I really trusted her.
What did the river say?
Oh,
You talk about a speaking river, but you say not what it said.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Do you want to recount?
yeah,
I can recount for you if you
Yeah,
like.
yeah. I was gonna say I can get the gist. but
So
it
if you
ain't gonna be
didn't, if
perfect.
you don't remember, Ian, so the 13 are being made to look like villains. Ithrin's saying that they are siding with Voidwrath to usher in his return. This is putting a bind on the relationship between the High Lords and the Church, which is bad for business. The God Beast remain neutral in this conflict, but they agree that Ithrin needs to be dealt with, and that Jophiel needs to return to the Elate Seal ASAP.
I believe
Going back to the seal?
I believe that some of that may have been from Vrook. I don't know why the God Beast would have any communication with the church and the High Lords.
That's certainly not good.
No, it's not good at all. But, yeah.
Well,
Just wanted
I
to get that off
appreciate
my
you telling
chest.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have quite a few questions for Jophiel in the morning, because it seems that her conversation was one-sided, but I know that it couldn't have been. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to know what
What the other half was,
the
right?
other half of the
Because
conversation
her
was.
answers were,
Interesting.
to
Yes.
say the least.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
one way to put
This
it.
would pique your interest, Rylaw, the fact that they're speaking of someone communing with something like Night River. You've been here long enough. Night River's a pretty common god beast in the area. You probably would know of him, having spent 6 months here. It would have had to have come up, and maybe even from where you come from, you would have a general knowledge of the god beasts of this realm. If Jophiel was speaking to, in fact, a god beast with your background and, intuitiveness of wanting to know of said god beast, you would find it interesting.
Would I know that the god beasts have children?
I would say that you definitely would, because of where you come from. You know that is,
A thing.
yeah, 100%.
I'm just listening at this point.
Yeah.
I am listening intently.
I love the cool and just taking it in.
The only thing anyone sees me do as a reaction is take the keg,
Yeah,
throw it to the side. Everybody hears it land empty.
it bounces. It doesn't even break. It's not heavy, and then rolls.
And I just kind of like cross-legged sit down on the ground and kind of like lean, like pull my axe out and like lean on the shaft of it. And
Nice.
Just listen.
So you guys have kind of found a little quiet area. Jophiel's by herself, within not hearing distance of this conversation, Jophiel. But yeah, I mean you're about. So, what would you? The rest of the party, what are you thinking? You wanting to take a rest, or are we going to do something different?
Yeah, no, I need to rest.
Okay.
I
I
would
stand to
I would
rest.
want to rest and
We're going to talk about this over
Jophiel.
coffee and eggs.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, for brevity's sake, we're going to say that everyone hits the long rest button. This is very
Yeah.
good for the other players that just came off a battle and then into a party.
Yeah.
The morning does come with many hungover Tigran and Leonor, who are sleeping long into the morning. But of course, Jophiel, you didn't sleep. You're up.
I imagine Ziria was the first one to come talk to me.
I would, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you guys begin to wake
As
up.
humans need at least 6 hours or more, since you only do 4.
Let's see. Yeah, so about 9 a.m. rolls around.
Yeah.
You guys all need full rest, though, for the party, for the humans.
4 hours for
Before-
the elves, but they still need like 4
It's going to be a
hours
long rest
to
regardless, because I don't think any of you are going to
chill-ish.
run off before noon.
Yeah.
But Zira, I will say, with your appetite for knowledge, you probably were up quite early,
Yeah.
jonesing to go speak with Jophiel. So-
Honestly, when I would probably this is gonna be so creepy. I would probably get my rest, like go into my trance, get my rest.
Oh, right, you need half the fucking time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
To-
yeah.
Yeah.
To get just to be refreshed.
Yeah.
And then I would go and like kneel, like crouch down, kind of like almost squat
Yeah.
across like whatever, like if she's in like an alley or something,
She-
I would
And
She's
trace
literally,
the opposite
she's like
wall.
leaning, she's like
Yeah.
leaning against the bed of a broken tree before a burnt out fire.
Probably watched you come before me and they start crouching.
Roll for
just
me a performance
looking at
check,
me.
Jophiel.
Because I don't sleep, actually.
Performance.
Yeah.
If you were faking sleeping, give me a performance check, and then
You know, I probably would have actually.
yeah,
Kind of faked it.
roll for
'cause,
me
you
a
know,
insight check.
It is
please.
kind of weird. I don't really have to sleep. So
I'm pretty certain I also have a 4-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you do.
I would have followed her.
Yeah.
that was
Because
a-
Roll for me an
that's an
insight
awful-
check too. Yeah.
she
That
would
was
have.
an awful
I would
insight
have.
check.
When we went to go rest, I would have went with her and,
I
and
feel
hidden
yeah,
ourselves.
100%. Yeah, I feel like you guys are definitely traveling together too, because you know each other more than these other people.
8.
An 8.
I rolled a 9.
Said insight.
Yeah, insight. What'd you get, buddy?
9.
Okay.
wow.
Jophiel is doing the worst. She's like literally leaned back with her eyes wide open, going. Hope no one sees me.
So
Fake sleeping here. She's
I-
fake
Right,
sleeping.
I would immediately be like, so now that you're awake, I have some questions.
Oh, shut
You didn't waste any time, as I expect from elves. Yes.
So you were talking last night, and I apologize for following you, but I just can't help my curiosity. And it seems I only heard what you were saying, but clearly you were talking to Night River, and I'm just curious as to what he had to say.
Oh, he spoke of the next steps and what is to come for the people of Sorborg, and there are 3 major decisions that have to be made for these people.
Which would be? Or would you rather us gather the rest of the party or wait for them?
I was hoping to wait when everyone was more awake, more sober, and more ready to have this serious conversation. And this would have to also include Caleb and
Nalia.
Nalia. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll try to be patient. But was this a warning? Can you give me? Can you at least tell me if it was a warning or if it was good news or, you know, any inkling of information would be appreciated.
The information that I have been given has both been eye-opening and also disheartening in many ways. For the people, for a Sorborg to be freed, there is going to have to be sacrifices made regardless of the pact that we have been breaking, with the 2 leaders being slain already. But with that, we also have been notified that there are things going on outside of this island that would have to be addressed as well once we leave this island.
Well, you and I have already had a conversation about that, and I would say that is definitely the case. But disheartening is a little sad to hear, but I am curious to know what you have to say when everyone else is awake.
Your curiosity is ever needing of further information, like a desert without rain.
Yes, exactly.
And patience shall reward you, most definitely.
Okay.
Everett, you're woken up bright and early by the sound of Oland within your mind, trying to get you to wake up. Everett. Everett. I could hear what he was saying.
Spill it.
Wake up.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to open my eyes. You're in my head.
I can't see that you have eyes open. Remember that I have none remaining.
I forgot.
You are my son when the sun is up.
Well,
There were... Night River, I could hear him. In my mind, just being in the vicinity. He proposed not good things for my people. He proposed a curse. He proposed that my daughter and Kaelin die, or that the Isle be sucked in to nothingness forever.
you're already cursed.
Yeah, I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
Everett. But at the end of it, he winked, and I could almost see it. It was as if it was in my direction.
What was the last thing he said?
It's not about the last thing, nor the first, it's the middle. He essentially said that for our children, Nali and Kaelin, for them breaking the chains the way they did, the binding of Ero the way it was broken, it nullified some guidelines of the god beast, and they are angry, but he said that my people could just be cursed, which is not something that I want to see befall my daughter. But the second option was that Kaelin and Nalia be the sacrifices this year.
That sounds...
Sacrifices are interchangeable, Everett.
Yeah, but that's still like
Those-
a lose situation. Your people are still dying.
It's not a lose-lose. Nothing changes. If they would be chosen as sacrifices,
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would break the pact, and only two die.
it's not that they break the pact. The plans don't have to change, Everett. They would be the highest ranking if you anointed them as leaders of their pride.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Their value increases.
I think I see what you're getting at here.
What I'm getting at. It would be dishonorable for both of them, but if you did want to finish this, and I ask you to help me finish this, and with every ounce of power I can lend you, I will.
You did.
If you act as champion, you and your allies, for Nalia and Kaelin, be what we brought you here to be. We end it. Essentially, what I'm asking you is for you and your allies to walk into the mall alone. But you won't be alone. For I'm with you.
Yeah, but that's the difference of 2 entire clans worth of people to a handful.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy. The other options that Night River gave is that Nolly and Kaelin are stuck here for the next 7 years, and they have to sacrifice 7 children from each pride at every beginning cycle.
Ooh.
The third is that they get dragged down into the depths forever, never to return.
Just them?
No, the whole Isle of Sorborg, apparently.
Yeah, that's... Okay. So yeah, we don't really have any options here, do we? Cool. Why is it so mad? Why is Night River so mad?
He didn't seem angry. Like I said, it's almost as if he winked in my direction. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. As if he was hinting to a way out.
Well, a way out is what I promised you and your people.
There's no way that something as spiteful as that god beast would have made a child that is ever close to the level of it.
Oh, no.
I think it's doable. You should speak with your allies, Everett.
Thank you for the heads up, though. This will be useful in the coming conversation.
And Everett, you've been woken up via Sir Cedric being woken up as well, via Everett talking to himself.
I just...
Eat gods.
Horrible dream.
What? Dream.
Yeah, it was, I was having a bad dream.
Everett, what are you going on about? What dream?
I was just having a bad dream. It's okay.
Oh,
You good?
yeah.
You sleep good?
I feel fine. Feel good. Even.
How many hours after
Facing
we've
the
had
news?
this
That's
encounter
Did
Did
this
they
just
wake
happen?
up? Yeah.
2 hours later, at least.
It was
Yeah.
I
For
mean
them to get their
you
6
have been
hours.
impatiently waiting for a couple hours.
Okay, so I'm probably waiting like around the corner, waiting for them to wake up.
Probably so.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're just around the corner peeking, just waiting for
checking.
Everett to.
It's very much like
no.
that. As you two begin to like get up and get ready, you do notice some eyes peeking out every now and then. Just like, hey, you up that? You up yet?
I think they're
Hey,
waiting
you
on
up
us,
there?
Cedric.
Okay, let's join them then. I didn't mean to sleep in.
Oh, good, you're awake.
Yeah, it's about noon. Noon, Sir Cedric. You know, it's
Sir-
late for you.
Is Sir Dawnkeeper making us unseasoned eggs?
Sir Dawnkeeper is hungover.
Thank
He's
God.
still sleeping.
He's
Thank
sleeping off a
God.
rough one.
Let him sleep.
But what I will say is he's near Cedric and Everett, sorry. And before you two kind of leave your little open canopied area where he is very hungover and like has woken up several times in the past couple hours to like retch to the side. He does wake up and he kind of grabs your arm, Everett, as you're walking away. I had the weirdest dream. I was looking up into the night sky and I saw a comet coming. But we were in the forest, so I saw a tree come into focus, a branch of it before it. And I saw a spider crawling along the trajectory of the comet. And then it poof. What do you think that means? And he kind of rolls over and begins to snore.
The spider or the well, why is everyone talking in riddles? What is going on?
You do remember that
Yeah, he
Alex
has
Dawnkeeper has
visions.
been befallen of premonitions
I
before.
don't know what the fuck they mean though.
I'm just letting you know.
Spider walking along comet tail in the forest. Got it.
When premonitions are given to
Cool.
the fighter to
Yeah.
decipher.
I don't know.
I would have heard this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Yeah.
to the other, Alex Dawnkeeper has been having many a
So-
premonition lately.
Those weird little things that he just spouted out of his face, they tend to come true somehow.
Interesting. Well, I better write it down then, and then I'd pull out my notebook.
Yeah, literally, like a comet soaring through the sky, heading toward Earth. But then it's like, you know, as you look in the distance, but then you focus on something right in front of you. A tree branch kind of comes into focus. And you watch as a spider mirrors the comet's descent. And at the same time, as the comet hits something and kind of explodes, the spider explodes too. And then
The
then it ends.
spider explodes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the comet explodes and the spider explodes. Well,
Yeah.
Which are we, the comet or the spider?
That is not for me to tell you.
Don't know.
We might be the Earth,
That's
you
the
know.
fun part.
Yeah.
That is the fun part. I promise you that every premonition that he's had has tied into things
Yes.
thus far.
Yeah, the first couple I figured out.
Yeah, this one's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But you guys are all now, for brevity's sake, we push forward. Excuse me. And you are all together. And we
What about-
have this interesting
What
conversation.
about Caleb and Nalia?
You don't see him anywhere. Probably hung over together somewhere, if you had to guess. Pass me the bourbon down there, will you, honey? But yeah, so Jophiel was doing a really bad job of sleeping, was confronted by Zira. And Rylal, to be fair.
He's just
Yeah, you're
stayed
fucked now.
behind
These
me.
two don't have to sleep very much either.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Yep, they know my secrets.
The humans in
but
the party
I don't-
gotta sleep in.
I'm not really a human either, so.
Well, I mean, you would probably find it weird that he was also awake, honestly.
I don't know much about Lobrakian culture.
okay.
It's not
is
even. It's not even that you don't know. It's just the way that you play your character. It's just you don't mind, or you don't pick up those intricacies of like common dialogue and human interaction yet.
Yeah.
It's like you're
okay.
still having that. Well, just the way you're playing your character.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay, so I don't pay mind to it. I just
Yeah,
think
but you-
he's
you-
like like elves or something like that's how his culture is.
Well, you got to
about.
think he hasn't talked much. the last time you saw him, he was just kind of hanging around. You don't know when he went to sleep. So the fact that he's here isn't too off-putting.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
So Caleb and Nalia are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Kaylin and Nalia, you don't see them in the vicinity. But you guys are kind of gathered around, not quite the center of the village, probably back where you found your respite. Kind of like a little opened canopy. A little meeting area.
Yeah.
For probably the hunters of the tiger and canopies that go out each day, and you guys are kind of occupying it. Think of it like a little smoke shack when you go to any amusement park. It's kind of like that, essentially. The little area where no one really messes around with, and there you guys are.
As I feel as though eyes from Zira and probably at this point Everett are probably on me with pointing gaze.
Pull your mic down.
What?
Pull your mic down towards you a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. It's okay.
I would kind of begin talking about that I spoke with Night River this past night, and he recognized that our end goal is to slay his daughter Sarosa, and he felt it was slightly unjust, but he also stated that for the people of Sorborg to truly be released from this curse that has been plaguing them, there has to be a balance to it, as the promise in the current situation with Iroh, the Falls of Iroh, should not be broken in the way that we are going about it. He suggested 3 avenues to essentially complete the breaking of said promises. The first being that 7 newborns must be sacrificed from both
14.
tribes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
7 newborns must be sacrificed from the tribes for the next 7 years.
I would look disgusted at that.
Not only that, but Kaylin and Nalia have to take point as Pride Masters, and they can't venture out and open up a trade network from Sorborg.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They are bound
they're
to Sorborg.
stuck.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
they have to make the sacrifices, I'm assuming?
They have to pick the sacrifices.
then I would retroactively say that. then.
Yeah. Just for the gravity of the situation, so you can get it across.
Secondly, for the sacrifices to be fulfilled, along with Sarosa, Kaylin, and Nalia would also have to be sacrificed to her during this cycle.
That's the second option.
And lastly, no one has to be sacrificed, but all on this island that they've been born to and been raised upon would walk the river and the land beneath for the rest of eternity, with no promise to see the light of day.
Those are terrible options.
These are the only options that Night River offered, as the broken promises at the Falls of Iroh that we have set upon have caused these to be the only resulting solutions.
According to who?
According to him.
Well, that's not quite, is it, Jophiel?
I trust that Night River's judgment comes not from the hate or disdain for the thought of his daughter being slain by us, but the thought that he is trying to help balance the way that the world works.
See, I also heard a little bit of what Night River was saying. It sounded like he didn't give a shit, but there's a council of god beasts that might.
They all hold
Interesting.
neutral positions for their place in this world.
Well, it doesn't seem very neutral. It seems like they're actively having an effect here.
Yeah. It's wanting us to sacrifice either newborns, the two probably new leaders of this island, or the entire island itself. Not really a sacrifice, but almost something worse.
Which I may have a plan, but it's going to come probably with
Everett.
consequences.
You're the only one that can anoint Nalia and Kalen as Pride Masters. It doesn't matter what the God Beasts say,
I don't see how that will spare them, though.
because they want the Pride Masters to be the one as sacrificed to them all. Anoint yourself,
I already am.
but make it real. And you also must name a leader for the Tigran people. And together, we can go and handle this.
Yeah. Essentially make our own pact. Or get rid of it. What steps?
It's as easy as just proclaiming it. Name yourself as leader, the pride of Oland, and choose another. Everett just begins to kind of talk to himself, kind of muttering to himself.
I'm intently watching him, so.
What do you think of this, Sir Cedric?
He wants off this fucking island so goddamn bad.
It sounds like it could be a penalty proven to be just by this monster blood beast. It's not my decision to make.
Well, you see, the water. Remember I told you that the water was also talking last night? It said a lot of interesting things, too.
It did.
Like the church and the High Lords might be going to war. That Ilrith is
Ithrin.
is trying to make the 13 into the villains. It could be that in no great amount of time that anywhere we travel we're looked at as villains. Or hunted, even.
Could be. It's hard to say. I don't know nothing outside of this rock in the middle of the bay for, how many months now?
But my question is, what is the consequence of us going and acting out on the plan that we had already discussed yesterday?
Well, that would make Night River very upset, probably causing number 3.
Who's the pact through?
The 3 leaders,
Well,
as far as we know.
the 2 previous leaders and
Sarosa.
yeah, the god minor.
Minor god beast.
Yeah.
So if we slay Sarosa, the pact is broken.
Essentially, but it doesn't stop her father from retaliation.
But you said that he didn't sound like he cared.
It might be that he doesn't, but this council does. And if he wants to continue to have a seat on it,
Night River brought these bylaws to us, Everett, with the pact as it currently is hanging in the balance. She's right. If the pact is fully broken, then what they have bestowed upon my people would be null and void. They would have to yet again speak. But if the pact is gone, it wouldn't matter.
So then would I still have to take a... Because I'm not of your
It depends on...
I feel wrong doing it.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, yes. I forgot.
There it
You
is.
see
Someone
you
finally.
see this fancy looking fur?
Upon his shoulders.
Lend me your eyes, Everett.
Sure.
You watch Everett's eyes flash as you watch the head of this massive lion kind of crawl from his back and in an ethereal state show itself to you.
Fucking terrifying.
Roar.
Who are you?
My name is Oland. Once leader of the pride of Oland. It is I of which he's been speaking to. I am the father of Nalia. I am here to offer guidance.
And how did you come to be,
Here?
well, here, but also
On my shoulders?
connected to our friend Everett here?
Everett stabbed me through the heart, and I was bound to him through a soul sacrifice. I have proclaimed my body and soul to remain in limbo so that I can help him on his travels until I deem my worthy end.
Well, that is very kind of you, honestly.
I do so that I can save my people. That is the only reason.
Oh, here, I thought you just liked me.
I do kind of like you.
I'm playing. I jest.
Kind of.
That's fair.
What strength and offering does a soul-bound Pride member offer to us that can help us on this mortal plane?
I have bestowed a few gifts to Everett. But let's just say that ever you need it, I will get you out of any situation that you're in, at least once. For if you summon me, I will return in my prime. Though I think that the pact that we have, Everett, if I was to do so, would be broken, and I would be eaten by the World Soul Tree.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling it was something like that.
Do you fear going to the soul tree?
Not at all. Currently, I battle back the minions of the Veil that seek to devour these individuals around you. They fester. They ask for the location of Jophiel. I did not give it. I cut out my own eyes so that they could not see what I see.
Yeah, so I guess not even in death. It's safe.
Have you seen Sorosa in person?
I have not only seen Sorosa, but done battle with her in the past.
How did you fare?
He kind of pulls back his mane and shows you several bite marks around his neck. I almost died. But I did survive. She now walks around with 8 snakes that accompany her. She used to have 12. I claimed 4. It's more than most.
And how do you think that we as a group would fare against her?
Well, he thinks our odds are actually considerably good.
Well, then it sounds to me like we should continue on our path and slay this beast.
But soon.
He wants to go like
Now.
now.
if the god beast are actually watching, if their anger does exude, if they have the power to take Sorborg into the bay, we do need to act swiftly.
And
If you don't go with the second option, Everett and Jophiel, then you have to enact at least you, Everett, and another as acting pride masters, becoming the sacrifice. Those that you bring along with you are just more blood. Sorosa won't go against this. More sacrifices, more good.
usually,
I say that we walk into the maw, we speckle some blood on the stone, and we rip her fucking head from her shoulders.
I mean,
When you battled her before, were you in your prime at that point?
No. No, I was long past it. And when I died, I was long past my prime then, too. And when I fought her, I was severely injured. Sulthar is the only reason that I survived. Sorosa is a maniacal beast from a place far from here. She is powerful, but she is young. Prideful. Spiteful, even. Arrogant. Use her arrogance against her and we will win.
well, I mean, there it is. What would happen if we don't come back, or at least I don't come back, and no one is a bestowed Pride Master?
Then you would be given as sacrifices to the Maw, and the second option given by Night River would be complete. And that would be it.
So it's over either way.
If you die, the pact is broken, and it's over. If we win, the pact is over, because the third chain is broken.
We'll just have to win that.
It's interesting, the god beast always ruled by ferocity and power, a show of strength.
Why
The
wouldn't
fact that they go against this now is
Well, it
interesting.
it doesn't make sense to me that why would you threaten violence? That is best violence is best committed swiftly.
You would have to ask
Without mercy.
Jophiel. She knows Night River more than I.
Any thoughts?
Do you ever collect anything?
Knowing the knowledge up between your two conversations,
Yeah.
Night River was acting odd. He never spoke to you in that way. He never cut you off as you talked. Something's going on. And I would say in the back of your mind, you wish to have another meeting with him. But the fact that he left those Night River toots messages at the end hints at the fact that you should do what you feel as though you should do.
How vengeful is Night River?
Not
You-
very.
Yeah, you guys were the most...
I'm sorry.
You were the beacon of neutrality during that time when you needed to be. You and Night River. And you did your best. So, he was a good friend of yours. But he's still here.
I feel like in the moments that we spoke just recently, he seems stressed. And not himself, though I don't remember him very much in the past. They seem off-putting. And I feel like on a day that he was himself, that's not what he would have said to me.
Like someone has pressured him into doing this or saying these things.
Someone or something.
Yeah, because it's just starting to feel like someone realizes how close we are to victory and wants us stopped.
I agree.
But like my brother, he continued to speak and rather quickly about how he had other daughters and they were other things as the river, as you spoke, pop bubbles to you.
Wasn't to me. He was talking to you.
Apparently, he
This
was
happened
talking
over
to
here.
anyone in the vicinity, wasn't he?
Well,
Perhaps.
I guess let's go.
But I feel like he had more information that he should have shared, but he did so anyway, in a hurried way nonetheless. But if we had to follow their rules, their guidelines, that is what he set in place, not necessarily what he requested we do.
Yeah, I mean, if something was pressuring him, then it would make sense that they're watching to make sure it's
Delivered.
the proper way.
How does Sorosa eat her sacrifices? Are they swallowed whole? Does she chomp them up into bits?
She poisons them, paralyzes them, and then drags them within the void of which she comes, through the portal, back to wherever it is that she hails from.
So she doesn't eat her meal on sight.
Only whenever we did battle with her in the olden days did I see her devour, and it was her snake-like appendages that did so. The sacrifices that my daughter and Caitlin have given to Sorosa over the past several years have just been taken into the maw itself. Beyond it. She comes, she strikes swiftly, and she drags them into that black vortex. But I fought her, and before she struck me several times, I saw a lot of her weaknesses. She's arrogant. You can play to that. Aggravate her. Surround her. She's not used to fighting more than one or two enemies at once. She was not taught well by her father. But then again, she's a snake. Not Night River.
Let's go feed her last meal.
I do like the odds.
I think the odds are in our favor. But I do ask this, and I know I've been hinting and beating around the bush, Everett. I wish that you don't take Kaylin and Alia into this.
No,
They're not
much
strong
too
enough.
tired.
Well, that probably too.
I know.
And he kind of like averts his eyes from the direction of where he thinks they are. Now that I can see, I really wish not to.
Well, put your head down. Save your energy if you're going to need it. Yeah, I was going to tell you all about that as soon as I got a chance.
That you're speaking to a pelt
Yep.
that has an old spirit?
Oh, so they didn't know.
It is not only my spirit that resides here. So far as has not yet went away either, has it, Sir Cedric? You carry it, and as a member of the Trident Conclave, you can choose where it goes. Though I have spoken to you to the least, I do ask that you send it in the right direction upon its end.
I am a just man.
I sense that is truth.
Where you got to go to...
Your dude.
At this rate, we'll never make it there.
Nope, never.
Okay.
So should we make our way today?
Yeah.
Then seems
Like,
Sounds like we
Now.
have to anoint some people
we can
to make it acceptable.
do it when we get back.
Well, you kind of have to do it now. Fuck. Just you and one other. There's the Pride Master of the Tigran, and another is the Pride Master of the Leonar of Sorborg.
Who?
I'm biased, but I'll pick Everett as the Pride Master of the Leonor if he'd want it.
I humbly accept.
You have to say it aloud, Everett.
Fucking. I am the Pride Master of Oberland. Don't like that.
It's interesting when you say it like that.
Pride Master of Whitlock.
No, they're still his people.
That's right.
I'm just leading them.
Whitlock's really weird to throw in there at the end. But you do have to pick one of your other allies.
Who wants to lead a whole tribe?
Raise of hands. Who wants to be the leader?
Yeah. No one.
Olin
I-
can be funny at times.
Can I
He really
grab
can.
Alex Starkeeper's hand and
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Dainty fingers.
You literally.
Dainty fingers for the win!
No, it's even better than that. Jophiel looks back toward where you guys were sleeping, and Rylal, you like see Alex in the distance. If you'd like to, you can go like grab him and bring him to this location.
Oh, I will throw him over my shoulder
literally
and carry him over.
bring him
So
over.
he hears the whole conversation, and I just raise his hand up.
Oh, no, he doesn't get to hear the conversation. No, I go get
this
him.
is hilarious because he'll be here for the next session in the battle to come.
Yeah.
Great. So if you guys lose, then it's you two that are fucked.
No pressure.
The boys from Ophius.
That would
Let's
be
go.
hilarious.
You guys got a private island just for you two.
So, oh my lord. So you decree
Yeah.
Alex Dawnkeeper as the leader of the Tigran Canopies. That is
That might be a horrible idea, but
fucking
yeah.
hilarious. All right. So what I see as a concise guide of the party is that you will take the moniker as champions of the prides to be sacrificed, but with resistance to Sarosa and the Maw. Your blood is what can summon her forth.
Yay.
And you're choosing... Are you choosing to head out now?
Is everyone still asleep?
Yeah. Everyone's severely hungover and still
We-
asleep.
We should probably.
I rolled earlier for at a disadvantage for Nalia and Kaylin, and neither of them rolled high enough to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah, we should
So it is up to you.
probably go before anybody else wakes up and tries to follow us, right?
I would agree.
What an
I
interesting aspect. That's so cool.
I think that Nalia and Kaylin deserve to rest, especially after the hard few days that they've had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They both lose their parents.
I have
Rough.
one final question.
Would love it.
Are we certain this breaks the pact?
No. I'm not. Anyways.
I mean, the best
There's-
one to speak to would be the one in the mantle.
There's never been any... I tell you what, Olin's gonna roll a history check.
Let's see if he remembers what he said fucking all them years ago.
Yep.
Before Olin kind of disappears back into the cape, any pact that has ever been made amongst creatures willing that have perished, that pact has always ceased to be. If the head of Sarosa rolls, the pact of Ero made decades ago should end. And he kind of escapes back, like Everett's eyes go from that glowing yellow-orange hue to, back to his normal eye color. Whew. It's a heavy burden that you carry.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking a lot.
Hey, you guys get to decide a whole fucking island worth of people, how it turns out.
Yep.
I just wanted them to have it. That was all I wanted.
I'm not finished with you just yet.
Oh, God.
So, I'm understanding that the direction of the party is to silently exit stage left of the Tigran canopies and head toward the Maw.
Yes.
Okay. It's a couple days journey, especially if it's just you guys, because you don't have a guide,
Oh,
right?
We don't have a
it's
guide.
south.
Nope.
So, for the third or fourth time tonight, for brevity's sake, we'll say that you get about a day away of travel.
Yeah.
Grab what you can, and you head out silently. I truly rolled dog shit for Kaylin and Nalia. They were both given 2 chances to try and like listen in or to follow, and thus far have done a really poor job of doing so.
That works out.
That's what happens whenever you get drunk and you're fucking endlessly until the morning. Anyway,
Real tired.
yeah, disadvantage really screwed me there. No pun intended. But under the first night where you make camp, you're about a day and a half away from the Maw, of which will take place next session, getting there. As each of you are taking your respective watch, quote unquote, we already know that someone doesn't sleep. Someone doesn't need a lot of sleep, and someone doesn't need a lot of sleep. There's a lot of people in the party that don't need a lot of sleep.
Nope.
Hey, the boys
But-
be tired.
The humans can sleep though.
We tired.
They knock out.
I mean, I've got a Marine background. I can just pick both of them up and carry them.
That's true.
quicker
That would be funny.
pace. Cradle them.
Sir Cedric, you're taking your night's watch. You sit next to the campfire in the Groylig jungle. Tomorrow you have to cross the river into the western side of Sorborg, heading into the Maw. Your fingers are burning a little bit. It's weighing on your mind. As you look across the fire, you see shadows begin to form as that figure stands there before you again, materializing. He smiles. I didn't expect to come and see you so soon, darling, but I didn't know that you were an acquaintance of this one. And he gestures over toward Rylal. How do you know him, or do you not?
Admittedly so, not too much. I've just met him over the past handful of days.
I figured as it is. I figured it as so. We're gonna have to change our bargain a little bit, Mr. Cedric. I pointed you into the direction of 3 other witches, of which I've left a piece of myself with them, but this one has taken a piece of me as well. Before your time is done, Sir Cedric, if you really wish to wish for anything, I need this man's axe. And I need him returned to me.
Sure.
Then we have an accord.
Well, we had an accord, but you threw it out, and now you're making an accord on the fly, so I don't know that an accord really exists.
Would you like to bind it? We didn't bind it last time. Not properly.
No, I think I'm quite all right. Our flexible cord will work just fine.
'Tis like an instrument. You can retune it countless times, and it sounds different over and over again, but you always change the intricacies, right?
Yeah, you gotta tune the flute, right? Or tune the lute.
You don't strike me as one that's ever played an instrument, Sir Cedric.
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, let's just say that that of which accompanies you now is an errant string that needs to be reattached and tuned.
So I wager you know him.
Let's just say he's not from your world. And with that, we will end tonight's session. Good time.
Yeah.
Hey, look! A 4-hour session of nothing but RP. We did it again.
Wow.
Not bad, everyone.
Nice.
Not bad. It sets up a pretty interesting fight. Shawn gets to be a part of it.
Yep.
Very cool. Very
And
cool.
he gets to be the leader of the Tyrant Canopies
Oh,
without.
hilarious. Dainty Fingers?
Dainty
the
Fingers.
leader of the Tigrant Canopies?
Yes.
I'm curious what happens when Boro finds out.
When who finds out?
And Boro?
And Boro,
Chef
yeah.
and Boro.
Because technically he's from
'Cause
the
he's-
Tigrant Canopies,
True,
but he
he's
stays
Tigra.
with us. So
Yep.
Leonard.
Right here.
Yeah,
Here's
your
I am.
new leader.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how the fight goes down. So, yeah, very. I wish we would have gotten to it tonight, but listen, this was an introductory session for you guys, so it's kind of hard to. But pretty good. We get Shawn, so the party's more strong, which means I can make it more difficult. And I think I'm still not going to be prepared because we added a fucking rogue and a barbarian to the party. I think it's going to be a very enlightening experience for me. Chef and Boro? Yeah, he's kind of like Buff Tigger.
So he's supposed to be a Tigran, but he's with the Leonard people.
Yeah,
We
he's
met him.
he's a chef, and he was so mad at Shawn's character because he didn't season his food when he cooked. Eggs specifically. He was so mad.
That is a crime.
Such a fun NPC.
And he hates violence, but he loves cooking. So he
Yeah.
lets everyone get him his meat, and then he cooks it. So.
Yep. But yeah, next week I think will be pretty fun.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah, I'm
we get
excited.
to Murder Cirrhosis and
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
violent
All
way.
the sneak attacks.
Oh, I'm not excited for it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not excited for bonus action hide. Sneak attack. Bonus action hide.
Bonus
Sneak
action
attack.
rage.
Well, yeah. It'll be fun. And it gives me a week to prepare.
Yeah.
You may have another ally in the fight. I will talk to Wyler. We'll see what his plans are. So that would be 7?
Yeah,
Holy
7.
shit. 7 was always kind of like my lucky number and max of players at a table. That's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So 7 makes the encounter
This is the
go
most I've
harder.
Had.
5?
Yeah.
5, really?
We
I
always
usually
had 4
did.
or 3.
We always did 6 or 7
Yeah.
at max. Like I've DM'd big parties
Yeah.
most of the time. It's hard. It really is because
Lot to keep track of.
encounters get sticky. They really do. The best encounters that I ever ran were during the first era of the podcast days with Ian. Back that the fucking Doors of Stone encounter with that god, the vampire, and Wyler's character, his mother, and all that shit. The encounters of that age, that was pretty good.
Where fucking Ian banished Wyler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then when we literally played. That session was like a 4 or 5 hour encounter. It was the whole session. It was
Yeah, I think so.
disgusting. I really went hard back then. I'm much more relaxed now,
Sundays we'd play for like 7 hours straight.
dude. I can't do it anymore. If I go past
so
4 or 5
fucking
hours,
long.
I get so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got old, bro.
Yeah, you're right. We did get old.
Maybe one day we'll get our Shadows of Brimstone put together.
Yeah.
And we'll get you through an 8-hour session.
Well, so I like to do that for like birthdays or special events. I like to do the all-day D&D thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we do it all day. But that's so
It's
fun.
yeah.
But like I can't do it like I used to. But like once or twice a year, super fun. Especially
yeah.
when Ian shows up for my fucking birthday in person.
Yeah.
I'm
That was pretty cool this year.
I'm still glad that happened.
Yeah.
Made me very happy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate both of you for making that happen.
fun.
But yeah. So next week, Cirrhosis Ma, Alex will be here. Shawn, not Alex. And then we'll
know,
see
it's
what's up with
confusing.
Wyler. But Ian, I'll let you go, buddy. I know you need to get to sleep and get up with that baby. Your internet's freaking out all of a sudden
Yep.
anyway. You're
frozen
frozen.
in place.
It was good to see you.
He's already disconnected. He's already out.
He's already gone.
That's a hell of a spot to freeze. To.
Super
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
He's already asleep.
Yeet.
Oh, I heard like a piece. Goodbye, Ian.
Later, bro.
Have fun.
Bye.
Later, dog.
Don't worry,
Adios.
Oh, there he is.
Your stream is still running.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
you're fine, buddy.
Nice.
Good night, brother.